good? Hello. Okay. That's good. That's good. We should be good to start.
Yippee.
Hello, stream.
Hello,
Just two
stream.
of us today for a little bit. Because all of them have banned like the nerds they are. Because neither of one of us in this call
I was supposed to have
was
banned.
Neither one of us isn't banned. I'm just joking. I think I'm the only one.
I am.
I know you are. I'm joking.
It was just canceled, so I had more time. Lamau. Episode 1, Part 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Pretty quick elevators, huh? Dining room. This is you.
Oh. You could have taken the next one.
It's a busy building, detective. Can't hold up everyone else on our accounts. Anything you'd like to grumble at me before I start?
Don't touch anything. I don't care that you're wearing gloves.
I've been to crime scenes before, you know. Long before the police get there in many cases. Hello, Aiden.
Hello, Aiden.
Hello.
Look, Rockford asked me not to get in your way, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to bend over for you.
You're not gonna bend over for me? Hell yeah. You know, you're pretty fucking... You know, you're pretty cute. Why don't you just bend over? Do you at least
Off to a great start.
Autopsy report?
No,
Are you seriously...
I don't.
She doesn't? The report should have come in hours ago. It wouldn't take this long unless the cause of death was still... Then I'd settle for a summary of the preliminary findings.
An emergency call was made shortly after 8 p.m. last night via the home security system. Emergency medical services had a VTOL in the air within the minute. They landed on the penthouse helipad at 8:08. Dr. Asher was found unconscious, with low blood pressure and a weak heartbeat. He wasn't breathing. In-flight auto tirage.
Triage.
Administered artificial CPR while in transit to Gatesfield Memorial. He was declared dead a few minutes after being taken to the emergency wing.
I see. And the cause of death is...
Being investigated.
Make an educated guess.
He stopped breathing, so they gave him oxygen. His heart stopped pumping, so they had the machines take over. His brain activity dropped to 0. And there wasn't anything anyone else could do.
It was poison, wasn't it? What kind? You don't know, do you? Ah. They don't know either.
Like I said, ma'am, we don't have the autopsy report yet.
There are gonna be characters for you to voice. Don't worry, eventually.
Why are you certain it was poison, Adene?
Adam.
Couldn't it have been an accidental overdose?
If he had overdosed on a commercial drug, even a pre-med student would have spotted it on the hospital's intake screening. Oh god. They would have been able to pump his stomach, neutralizing his bloodstream, and he would have lived.
But he didn't live.
So it must have been something deadly, a compound designed solely to kill, a fast-acting deadly poison that causes respiratory failure. The list can't be that long. even just through process of elimination. The medical examiner should have identified it by now, unless you suspect a designer drug, don't you, detective?
Why is it you're only quick on the uptake when it suits you? Nothing else makes sense given what we know and what we don't.
But the CDCA decriminalized and cataloged all recreational drugs. We got,
A paralegal? Question mark? The
Harmful
180
arts, carbonation collarbones, huh?
Huh?
Statics, blackouts, elevator. Talents, I'm good at lots of things. Skills, I'm not sure how skills differ from talents. I also like the 180-degree rule.
The 180-degree rule. Oh my gosh. She's so silly. A thingamajig.
Guess you aren't entirely clueless about politics.
So whatever Father overdosed on should have been in the hospital's database. You need to update your definitions. You're confusing designer drugs with recreational drugs.
In common parlance, however, designer
Deeds.
drugs, deeds or deeds are
Deeds.
Yeah.
Deeds. Nirvana. What is the difference? Recreational drugs are decriminalized and sold through pharmacies after years of testing and mountains of paperwork. While the average designer drug was invented last week in a 19-year-old line cook's bathroom on the other side of the globe. Huh. Hospitals can't know the proper countermeasures for an overdose of a drug that didn't exist 48 hours ago. I came across makeshift labs all the time when I was a uniform. The equipment's cheap and widely available. Black market cooks, gray market peddlers, and white-collar lobbyists all chasing each other's tails in a long line to find the next big hit. CDCA didn't change shit. More people die from ODs than ever before. Only difference is, it's their families finding them in the living room and not beat cops finding them on street corners. Real comforting, I'm sure.
If it wasn't you talking, I'd say that it was a criticism of law enforcement.
Not law enforcement, just a law.
Assuming it was a designer drug, that would certainly make things more complicated.
For the insurance guys, maybe. For us, whatever he used to do it, he still killed himself. Or didn't kill himself, if you insist.
I'm gonna take a look around now.
Yeah, sure, make yourself at home.
What's that face for?
I thought that there would be an outline
An outline?
around where they found Father.
Like in the movies?
Like in film.
Connect to the police network and bring up their ARCS file.
Augmented reality crime scene? I see. Now we have a robot to do it. There it is. There is an outline. And so this is where he
He died died at the hospital. And this is just where the medics found him.
And it's the sensors and cameras they were wearing that create the basics for the arcs?
They didn't realize they were walking into a crime scene, but their body cams gathered data all the same.
Where do we start?
You can start by following behind me and trying to be as quiet as possible. I'm starting to get a feel for when she's pouting, even without looking.
Oh, the lovely sound.
It's quiet, but I need it so that I can check shit. Let's go here. A chessboard and a data pad with a series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CX, D4, NX, D4. This is... algebraic notation. Was he studying an old game, or playing against himself?
Black has checkmate in 40 moves.
Wow, a robot that's good at chess. We ought to put you in a museum. But I'll take your word for it.
What do you mean? Do you not play Adonai?
Close, Adonai.
Adonai,
It's-
that's
it's very stupid, but it is important and cute. That's what I wanted.
Okay.
No, especially not against David.
Well, that is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing.
Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. To me, it always seemed too
Boring?
fair. The smarter player wins every time.
And that is something you take fault with?
Of course. How's a gal like me supposed to win a game like that? Police androids monitoring the scene could almost mistake them for the real thing in the way they stand there trying to look important. Like an indoor it's like an indoor dog taking its first steps to the park.
Pardon?
Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before?
Because I haven't in person.
David didn't even let you have a mirror? Brutal. Just scan its gin if you're that curious. Unless that's considered too forward or whatever.
Her puffing her cheeks out like that is so funny.
Don't be surprised if I get kicked from call. It is storming outside and the house is old.
Oh,
I
okay.
always admired this view.
Yep.
The building gleams.
The Wi-Fi router is also probably older than me too.
The buildings gleam with reflections of holograms in sunlight.
Fire.
And their shadows obscure and their shadows obscure all the rundown, rotting parts of the town. Maybe the view is secondary. Maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much difference between them and the street level as possible.
Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows?
Not through these windows, no. David installed wide spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars.
I didn't know that.
Well, you wouldn't notice unless you were viewing the penthouse from more than...
Why did he care so much about his windows? Good question, Sarah.
One chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting. And one chair pulled out, party of two. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. Better take a closer look. Password lock, but already cracked by the police, it seems.
All the docs were take-home safe. Nothing spicy.
When was it last used?
7:48 p.m.
Still reading work emails only a few minutes before he committed suicide. Morbid. There's a lot of messages marked priority that breadcrumb their way back to an article. We've already seen this article.
We've seen it.
This is the article that I've seen going around. Why would Noble have it marked as priority? Starling said they weren't in any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. Now they have an excuse. They need to pressure the military into a contract for warm androids. Can't dismiss the expensive upgrade as necessary now that it saved a soldier's life. This time next year, there'll be pink oxidizing fluid being spilt all over the globe. The globe.
Ew.
Globe? What the fuck?
Ew.
What the fuck am I on?
I don't know, but whatever it is, can I have some?
Spilled alcohol. The arc show how it looked last night before it evaporated. No foreign substance in the puddles. It's clean. So does that mean wherever this spill came from must be clean as well?
Yes.
Rose River Whiskey, 12 years old.
You recognize it?
Sure, here's more than partial to the brand. It's a good brand, only a bit overpriced, which is the bargaining of a lifetime in David's world.
It appears that the police have already tested its contents. No foreign matter present was their conclusion. Is it possible that the police missed the poison?
No, even if they can't identify the poison, they can detect its presence by comparing samples of the whiskey to a bottle off the store shelf.
So we can eliminate the possibility that the bottle of whiskey was poisoned.
Sorry, I saw red and I assumed it was my name.
You're good.
We'll have to find our smoking gun elsewhere.
Pew pew.
2 cups, 1 empty, knocked over, and 1 mostly empty. These look cheap. Did his guests bring them?
I've seen them before in the basement liqueur cabinet.
He kept these lying around. I knew he regifted those crystal glasses I got him.
Ark says there's nothing foreign in the upright one, so it can't have been poisoned. Results are inconclusive on the other cup, however.
Looks bone dry. Must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this was considered a crime scene. Just enough for them to test. Just not enough for them to test.
Inconclusive could mean...
Inconclusive means inconclusive. That's all. Cheer up and read me the results of the fingerprinting.
Father's prints are on both cups, as expected. But there are someone else's on the upright cup, so someone else must have been with him last night.
Slow down. All that proves is that somebody else touched the cup. Doesn't tell us when they did it. And since we don't know who those prints belong to,
Adonai, why don't we know who the prints belong to?
are the prints flagged as unidentified or...
No, there's a space for a name, but the field is blank.
Shit. Am I already too late to the action? Detective Reyes.
Yeah?
There's a second set of prints on the cup. Is there a form you'd like me to sign?
Doesn't matter how nicely you ask. Sometimes people just can't answer. You should know that damn well, Madam Counselor.
I was afraid you'd say that.
I don't understand, Adonai. What does this mean?
It means that whomever those prints belong to has a very proactive representation.
Those prints belong to a witness, as you've guessed. You're more than welcome to their testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation.
Fine, forget the name.
That easily?
Subpoenas are always an option, but I'm short on time. What did the witness have to say for themselves, Detective?
To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Asher last night. The two of them talked, and they had a drink together. Then, the doctor got sick, so they activated the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. The EMTs came and took them both to the hospital. Asher's condition got worse. All of the witnesses' vitals were normal.
The witness had their vitals taken, then there should be a record of their admission at Gatesfield.
And that's it.
I'm guessing you didn't just take all of that on faith.
Penumbra is set up in most of the rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was corroborated by the building's own surveillance system. So, yes, we can guarantee that the witness never put anything into Asher's drink.
I'm guessing that I can't have the keys to Penumbra, can I?
Not until the witness's lawyers are done reviewing it.
Lawyers, plural. I don't have time to trade jabs with the law office of Johnson, 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 and Johnson. That is very fucking funny, by the way.
It would have been so much funnier if each Johnson was spelled differently.
Yeah.
Say, how about I give you their business card?
Law office of Cochlear, Gustav, Prince, and Prince. I was close.
Prince and Prince, though.
No way I'll be getting any client's information out of them directly.
If all you bloodsuckers want to get together and tear each other apart, text me before you start. I'd like to watch.
Yeah, I bet you'd like to watch.
What? What does that even mean?
Oh no. Needed a moment to think. So that was it. One chat, one peek at the cams, and you've already eliminated them as a suspect.
Look. They were searched, they didn't have any poison, any drugs, not even a stick of gum. Even if they somehow did have poison on them, the camera footage confirms they had no opportunity to use it. They drank from the same bottle as a dead man. As far as the department's concerned, they were nearly the second victim.
But they aren't dead, or even ill from the sounds of things. So you think he poisoned his own cup beforehand, then poured for the both of them from a safe bottle.
That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle or the witness's cup. But after drinking from his cup, a cup he prepared himself, he fell ill and the witness didn't. And Asher died with a foreign substance in his body.
That's you.
An unidentified foreign substance. Suicide by poison. I get that you were close, and simple explanations aren't all that satisfying, but that's life.
One last thing. You just said he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera?
He left the parlor to get the drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness says he got them from the basement.
The witness says that, not the cameras.
There's no cams in the lab or the basement. That seems like a security hazard. Why would Noble not set things up more carefully? It's intentional. If cams of his lab ever got hacked, outsiders could steal his IP and kick Noble's monopoly to the curb.
Right, David did complain about Noble's weird protocol for combating corporate espionage.
At least we can take comfort in knowing that father wasn't alone when he died.
Yeah, that's worth investigating. Says here that when the medics arrived, he was on the floor face up.
Does that tell you something? They're making the same face.
Fuck. I laughed too hard. Hey, if you were,
They're making the same.
if you were going to drink
They're
a glass of
making this-
poison, would you be sitting or standing when you did it?
I find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical scenario.
The seat by his body is pulled out. If he was seated when he lost consciousness, I would expect him to find him slumped over on the table.
But he wasn't found slumped over.
No, he wasn't. And if he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I would think he would have fallen forward, at least collapsed less neatly.
So what can you conclude from that, Adonai?
Only that I'm missing something. Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room, which leaves the kitchen. You said there's camera footage of the dining room showing David and his guests. What about in here?
Only camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the call terminal.
Are you like distracted, or is that how fast things show up for you?
Things are really slow on my
You
end.
want to disconnect and rejoin, please? Hello?
Hello, it's loading. The console took a snap image when the witness ran into contact emergency service.
May I see it?
Not unless you scrape the witness's face off the pic first.
Don't tempt me.
Now it's working somewhat better. Blah, blah, blah.
Which one do we want to do first?
The counter.
No, we're doing this first.
Okay.
David's fridge. Normally I wouldn't go poking in a pantry at a crime scene, but this was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawer, some real cheap liquor stuffed in the icebox. Old habits. Riz, you said you left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement.
Huh? That's what the cams show, yeah.
There's plenty to drink right here, and unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. Must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry?
Hey guys, we should probably open the YouTube chat.
I am an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic?
You can do that, Aiden. Only.
Logan's in chat.
Shit.
I do ingest organic substances. But that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do.
So, when you don't ingest
Balls.
organic substances for a long time, you...
Also, you and Caitlin have very different volumes, Logan says.
Which one's worse?
It's probably you, Cooper, that is a lot quieter than Caitlin.
Let me, because that's Discord partly. I am right in front of my.
That's probably a Discord thing.
Probably.
Because I can turn myself or turn Caitlin up or whatever we need.
Yeah. They're making the same face again. Cooper is very quiet.
Okay, I am turning up my audio input. Whoops, that was a tiny bit too far. Hello. This is around the voice. I'll be. Papa, hagabaka, bakakabakakapa, papakakapapa, yeah, this is almost full that it will go, so let's hope this works. I don't know how to turn up the gain on my mic because the mic is stupid. I don't even think it does, to be honest.
Fair.
No, it does not. Anyway.
I become tired.
What a great feature.
And when I'm done digesting, I
don't need to know.
You can probably guess.
This is where the emergency call was made. What time did the call go out?
8:04 p.m. Before you ask, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene.
I wasn't gonna ask that. I will be right back. I am disconnecting from Discord, seeing if that will fix my connection issues. When did the medics arrive?
8:08 p.m., remember?
Hell of a response time for a penthouse. Private EMS came by air.
Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside. Took them to Gatesfield. The very best, if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like he could afford a lot.
He got his insurance through his employer, just like most people.
What is
Caduceus.
Caduceus Executive Plan 4 isn't like most people, counselor.
He had executive level. Not like most people at all.
Damn.
Messy spaces, but a pristine kitchen. David was a good cook, but only for others. Unless he had a guest, he'd happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals, or 2, or 1. No signs of food prep to be found, not so much as a cheese board. So whoever this
The
guest was,
charcuterie.
they must have shown up unannounced. 3 unwashed dishes and a single glass. Reyes, these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet,
And?
and I just assumed you might want to do your job.
Yeah, there are prints. Most match the victim. But there's also... Huh. Hey! Don't sneak up on me like that.
All I did was walk over to you.
You knocked over the salt, Adonai. I was focused on the task at hand.
Didn't realize tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod.
Adonai, the salt. As I was saying, the witness prints are on that glass.
That glass in the sink, they were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on cam?
No.
So, when did they touch this glass?
You need to toss it over your shoulder.
Fucking love.
Witness must have Witness must have thought about giving the guy some water, but he would have just choked on it had they tried. What, you think this glass was the murder weapon? It's bad luck, Adonai. Whacked him on the back of the head so fast it went between video frames?
That's genius! You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. Mature.
It's bad luck.
What have you been going on about the salt? Shouldn't a machine be above petty superstition?
It's not a superstition, it's an ancient wisdom.
Give me one logical reason to care then.
If too much salt spills onto your food, it'll make you gag.
Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there.
You've now had the chance to survey the crime scene.
Yeah.
So, do you think you know what happened?
Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue?
Yeah, he's at Gatesfield. Along with 100 noble Megs who've all called dibs.
Then I'll just have to cut in line. Sarah, get me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. What? You can't do that, can't you?
I can,
But
but I need your payment information to get started. Yeah, okay. Understood. On my way down.
got it.
Sync complete.
Get pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty.
The crowd down there seems to have gotten quite large. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot may be an ambitious target, Adonai.
How bad can it be? So I believe I have my TV on downstairs, my parents aren't home, and I'm gonna, actually, you know what, fuck it, screw it, we're fine,
Fuck it, we're fine.
Yawn. Dude, that went over Discord too, by the way. As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fail.
Oh no, bro.
The crowd has gotten bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy's
An
not
angry mob.
panicked, yet yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. Are this many people pissed at Noble for selling androids? The hell's got them so excited?
Adonai, what does that symbol mean?
You guys ready for random voices?
Yes.
Maybe.
In this rabble, probably something vulgar. Which one?
That heart with the bullet hole.
I don't know. It's probably nothing.
Oof. Based on net associations, it appears to be a symbol for the Heartbreak Killer.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would that freak have a symbol or a following or these whatever these people are? And why the hell would they be outside David Asher's apartment? Aiden, you go. Or fuck it, I'll go. 'Cause Noble's trying to cover up the truth.
They are?
Those Megs in there scrambling to shred every document they can. We need to stick together, form a perimeter, and try and catch them when they got to dump the scraps. Sarah?
What are you hoping to find?
Proof that Asher was was killed for trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on Heartbreak? Noble doesn't want the world to know that the A-16 is sentient and homicidal. You think that Heartbreak is an android? You think whoever did all that was human? Noble's advanced prototype went amok and started killing random people. Don't be a lamb. It only looks random. There's a clear pattern as long as you're smart enough to see past the bullshit. Oh, okay.
And how does one see past the bullshit?
Stop engaging. That's someone else. One of you two.
Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions.
What the? Aiden, you got this guy.
What the hell are you talking about? No way those victims.
Nope, that's not you, Aiden. That's Caitlin.
Yeah.
No way those victims weren't related. It's gotta be deniable ops. They must all have a do together before getting their records bleached. Then, as soon as they've outlived their usefulness...
What? Are you nuts? Everyone knows the first 6 HK got to where the 6 prototypes that came from. Everyone knows the first 6 HK got to where the 6 prototypes that came before him. Warm android, so perfect, no one could tell the diff. A bullet to the heart, the only way he could kill those other over-engineered freaks. Everyone's got a goddamn opinion.
I see.
Stop saying. Start moving. These people are insane. This is stupid.
Why don't you eat some more corn slop, asshole? You think you could be the cyberpunk without ever thinking for yourself? Hey, I recognize that name. Cyberpunk? You think it's a coincidence victim number 6 was working for Hardco Props? They're putting something in the food.
Those people, Heartbreak, this is...
A goddamn embarrassment. The hell am I paying taxes for if the state can't shut this shit down?
What about you, Adonai? What do you think about this Heartbreak figure?
They're just a murderer. Should be caught and sentenced like any other murderer.
But they must have some reason for doing such terrible things. Aren't you curious?
Why? Are some reasons for committing murder better than others?
They might have experienced trauma or abuse. They might have.
Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. And yet, there's only one heartbreak.
So you think that they were just born that way?
That's my guess.
That's
Unsatisfying?
sad.
I don't see why it would be. Sorry, that was my actual voice going through. I don't
You're
see
so
why it would be.
sad. If heartbreak was born like that, then they never had a chance to be anything else.
If heartbreak was born like that, then none of us normal people have to ever worry about turning out like them.
That kind of predestination, it means they never had to take a responsibility for what they are.
The state can make them take responsibility as soon as they catch them.
You make it sound so trivial. They're a very dangerous serial killer.
Just a serial killer.
Just?
If HK shot someone every day, it would take them 1,132 years and about 11 months.
In order to have killed
413,789 people.
You did that in your head?
I'm good at mental math.
You counted the leap years. But what is the significance of that number?
Deaths within the 18 months of the Blackford Industrial... not that one. Return. This one, search term. This one, we're gonna go to Deniable Ops. This is like, whatchamacallit, think tanks. Cyberpunk. It's a game. Anyway, Blackford disaster.
It's a game.
So it doesn't actually tell us what it is. Times that number by 2 for the injuries, tack on another 183% for the birth defects. 413,000 dead, and there wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy welding, and time.
So you think that heartbreak is nothing but comparison? Perhaps that is the problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, then they can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to.
Please, make way. Officials are coming through. Please disperse.
Keep walking, pigs!
Fascists!
Noble owns the cops!
Only the cops. Oh fuck, how do I do
Oh
Southern?
shit, it's Riley!
Only the cops they built in their factories.
Very funny. Why are we tolerating this shit?
You want me to wade into the crowd with a nightstick? Prove them wrong. Southern. Yeah.
You know what I mean. We're the only people in this city trying to do some goddamn good, and they're all just...
That's just part of our job, detective.
No offense, man, but wearing a police badge earns you a little more hate than... Do they give prosecutor badges?
I have an ID for the parking garage. Does that count? Southern. Depends. Have you ever hesitated to wear it in the open?
this modal
Aiden, can you do
relativism of
Emma's
yours
voice?
seems to be
Huh?
Can you do
seems
Emma's
like a
voice?
strange.
I could barely hear you.
Can you do Emma's voice?
The lady in pink.
Mm-hmm.
I could try.
It's low. Riley usually does it. She's tired, so tired and sleepy.
Yeah.
Lady.
Like a strange philosophy for someone in your profession, Adonai.
Breaking out the thesaurus on me. I'm only being realistic and humble. I'm just one woman, Sarah. Whatever I do, right or wrong, is less than a % rounding error in the grand scheme of things.
Do you tell that to your clients?
No, but they come to appreciate it when I win.
I don't mean what cops and peculiar. The same deal applies to anyone who works for the state. The terms are stark, but the ink dried a long time ago. But we all agreed to them.
I don't recall voting for it.
Well, not voting is how these things come to pass, though. We traded freedom for safety, individual rights for collective power. The state won, the citizens lost. Very least we can do is take their criticisms head on.
Look, I don't have a problem with the responsibilities of authority.
Only with authority being challenged.
But they treat us like we're the bad guys.
Well, sometimes we are. Sometimes the law is wrong.
So if any given individual is too small to ever affect change... So if the public's gonna hate us no matter what we do, and if corporations and government will trample over people the same, regardless of their character, and if we can't even be sure we're doing the right thing, what do you do, Adonai? What the hell do we do?
I think it's pretty simple.
It's not as complicated as you'd think.
In times like these,
In a world like this,
the only logical way to live is...
the only moral way to act is
do whatever it is to take...
do whatever it
to win.
takes to win.
Oh
Aiden.
shit.
Aiden, you read first when it says both, I will go with you. Because you will have a delay if you go with me. If I'm
Okay.
significant in this grand scheme of things, I can do my worst in knowing when it is.
If power is inherited evil, holding back won't save your soul.
Just fight with both barrels.
And trust the opposition to do the same. Winner takes all.
Damn, bro. That was...
The fucking great ass.
That was great, though.
You guys ready for lesbian?
Gay, homosexual, gay.
Ugh, thank you. You're a lifesaver. And the next time that Bridezilla texts you, just turn your phone off. Chatty guy must have been due to go on break. When he tried and failed to find the witness's medical record, his datapad had the name blacked out. But it did say they have Caduceus Executive 3, more expensive than David's, which means they most likely...
How did you do that?
You need to hold the button to get the doors to close faster. Mashing does nothing.
That is not what I meant. There were many others who arrived before us. How did you get us down here so quickly?
Well, I didn't do anything. It was that nurse who escorted us.
Yes, but you managed to get a stranger like him to help you with so few words, so little information.
Oh, that's you.
I don't think you ever gave him your name.
Haven't you heard of the Golden Rule?
Of course I have. Treat others how you would want to be treated.
Wrong. Treat others how they would want to be treated. He wanted someone that he could vent to. He wanted someone to pay attention to him. And he wanted to feel appreciated. Which meant he'd be eager to help given the chance.
Even just reading someone's mood is quite difficult.
Mood. Holy shit, fuck.
Mood.
Autism. Hell yeah.
How could you know how another person wants to be treated?
There are no mind readers. No one can ever know anything about what anyone's thinking. Maybe not even themselves. Doesn't matter if they're your parent, your twin, your lover. It's always a gamble.
It's not a very comforting sentiment.
Well, I think it's fun.
Only because you're good at it. How did you get good at it?
Same as anything. Observation and practice.
You must have been observing and practicing for a very long time then. So we proceed down the hall, bear left, look for the fourth door.
I'm gonna open the one that says Morg on it. Fucking lesbian. Told you.
Lesbian.
I'll do this voice because you're. Oh, hey. Come in. Don't stand out there in the cold. Wouldn't be accurate. Sorry about the chill in here, but I run a little hot. As you can see, my roommates never complain. Yumi Sato, medical examiner.
Accessories, reality TV, and palm readings.
Social media dress code, ebooks. Loves to make new playlists. Throw out old clothes. Most proud of my weekly meal prep. Dr. Sato, just the lady I wanted to see. Though I didn't expect I'd get to. The fact that they've assigned a medical examiner and not some ad or junior means. Oh, you can call me Yumi, and you're... Morgan. I represent the deceased. The deceased? Oh, the deceased! Dr. Asher! Wait, really? That's so weird. I thought this time lock was scheduled for a group of noble PR people who... No, weird, right? Well, what do I know? Was just getting tired of hosting Megs anyway. I gotta finish typing up this report before we talk shop. But in the meantime, feel free to make yourself at home. Yeah, no, so when I said lesbian, I meant, like, fucking lesbian.
Fucking lesbian. She's emo.
What's this? The hospital's getting renamed. No guess it's some other hospital that got snapped up. Ikari family. Guess they weren't always in the same line of work. Now they're plastering their names whenever they get themselves a new image. All this neo-ability are eager to prop up their image wherever they can. I fucking love this word, by the way.
Neobility.
It's like nobility, except it's new. Like new nobility. It's fucking great, by the way.
Love that.
But that must go double for the Ikari, as assuming the truth about their criminal past is anywhere close to the rumors. Fucking Yakuza. Let's go.
Fucking Yakuza.
There's a lot of screens. They've got to be diminishing returns on productivity.
Why do you have so many monitors, man?
You can't just ask someone that. Good question. Every quarter when they do inventory and budgeting, they ask me if I need anything, and I never do. So I submit a blank form. But I guess a while back there was a +1 in a spreadsheet somewhere, and no one's ever corrected it, so boom. I get 4 new monitors every year.
Do you run out of things to use them for?
Sometimes, but this year I've started running 2 dramas at once when I'm doing road work, which helps. Watching 2 television shows at the same time helps you do road work. Helps me use up the screen. Fuck, how did I do her voice? Helps me use up the screens. Oh, I see.
I see.
That's you. Oh, hi. I'm a lesbian. Oh.
Oh. Like one of those voices.
I'm fancy, actually. Ho ho ho.
Are these all dead bodies?
One would hope so.
I only meant that I'm surprised to see them stored here. It suggests a backlog, which suggests a higher murder rate than the public data would lead one to expect.
Do you only examine bodies for the police, doctor? Oh, I wish. Nah, most of my job involves confirming CODs on natural deaths for insurance adjustments. Jurors want to blame the mod for failing. Mod makers want to blame the stiff for not exercising enough. Family says the company insurance plan would pay for mods, but not a gym membership. Yeah, that whole wall, there is a suspected effective
I'm
living
back.
mods.
Welcome back.
Suspected leaking international bio batteries. Suspected CCICs. Yeah, this is called lesbian. You can take over for her. Yeah, she's just, oh, yeah, I'm a lesbian. That's her voice. CCID. Aiden,
Huh?
you got this.
What voice do I use?
Oh, so it's just kind of, just a little bit.
Oh.
Oh, climate change inducted complications.
You can prove that climate change
That work?
contributed. Yeah, you can prove that climate change contributed to an otherwise natural death.
Oh, very, very rarely.
Oh.
If it can be proved, what does that mean for the family of the deceased?
Plus, oh, that's you.
Plus or minus 14% on the life insurance payout. I mean, it's most of what I do, and I don't dislike my job. It's just, oh, so much of what I do just boils down to telling a bunch of cheapskates how to split the dead man's bills. It's enough to make homicide feel like a breath of fresh air.
She's finishing up over there.
Right, okay, so what's up?
Thanks for your time, Dr. Sato. My first question would be,
What was the cause of death?
Oh, wow. Hi there. Cute android. I didn't even realize it was. really cute. The skin is. That's remarkable. Even just looking close, you could tell they really are warm.
Oh, look at her. She's so plushy.
Look at her!
Still not quite human body temperature, but they've come a long way. The early gens all looked flushed, felt like they were always running a fever, and they ran like it too. Even 2 years ago, the average warm android only lasted.
Sorry, but the circumstances surrounding this particular case calls for expediency.
Oh, right. So, what can I tell you?
Let's start with talk screen. The police mentioned a talk screen.
Yeah, that's the thing. They ran a talk screen when he first arrived, typical diagnosis, intake procedure. Based on the emergency call, they figured he must have overdosed on something, but the talk screen gave them nothing. After he died, we performed the broadest screenings possible. Nothing.
So were you forced to conclude this was a natural death?
I didn't give up that easy. I took blood samples and compared their makeup with what was on record in his previous medical history, and I managed to isolate a single non-naturally occurring chemical compound that wasn't there before.
Was it some sort of exotic toxin from a different hemisphere?
I wish. I ran it through every available database we have access to, and even a few I only sort of have access to through some friends. Not only does it not match any known poison, it doesn't match the chemical makeup of any registered compound.
So, a designer drug, huh?
That seems to be the best explanation.
What the hell did you do, David?
You said it didn't match any registered compound. What about compounds that aren't registered?
Those friends of yours? Private sector folks?
Yeah, and pharmaceuticals.
Oh, mic disconnected again. I fucking love this mic. If one of them patented a new compound,
Love it.
a new drug would keep its formula from going on the record.
In the private sector, intellectual privacy is the norm. So you're expected to protect your research aggressively.
Patent first, find a use later.
Yeah, a patent would have to be at least describe your compound in brief, but depending on what country you file in, I've heard it may be considered prudent to keep the actual chemical makeup off the record.
Smart, using international IP law as your own personal minefield.
How so?
Whenever you're ahead, patent it as much as you can, as fast as you can, but bury the formula so no one knows where it's safe to walk. Sorry, that said formulae. Anybody small and ambitious comes along, finds a new drug they're excited about, you flip up your card, let them know you came up with the idea years ago, and that you'll give them Death by 1,000 court dates if they so much as blink. And it wouldn't work on anyone your size or bigger. They could punch back. But for the rest of the field,
Wow. You corporate lawyers are scary.
I'm not a corporate lawyer.
So you came up with that strategy just now?
So it's possible that this poison is actually a known substance? Something that the hospital could have easily identified?
If it wasn't considered a trade secret.
Oh, yes, unfortunately, that is a possibility.
Still, just because a drug is new, that doesn't mean it's original.
Does the effect that this compound had remind you of any other drugs? Maybe one that's prescription only or a controlled substance? Or you might know by another name, but with a patent structure?
Sorry, sweetheart. It's a general depressant. There are a lot of drugs that have that effect on the body, and they come in all shapes and sizes from all kinds of places.
If the effect was unremarkable, what about its strength? Could you estimate how much of this stuff he had in his body all told?
Not precisely. Not without detailed knowledge on its half-life. But I'd guess that it must have been about 20 milligrams.
Is 20 milligrams a lot?
Not for medicine. So this wasn't just an overdose of something relatively harmless then.
No, not if 20 mil was enough to crash his entire nervous system.
Woo! That was the first click. Were you able to determine the cause of death?
That was only the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cause of death, sure. We got that much figured out, at least.
Why doesn't that sound particularly reassuring?
Dr. Sure died of respiratory failure. Not enough oxygen in the blood, not enough blood going to the brain.
Mm-hmm. I will be right back.
Okay.
Because my thing is at 3,000 ping. That is a lot. I might also just go take meds as well since I'm going downstairs, so I'll be back in like maybe 5. Great, Logan's here. Entertain chat for a second.
Oh, hi Logan.
Oh, hi, Logan.
Hello.
Hey Logan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Entertain the chat.
My thing was cut short because of the weather. So I got
Fair
here as
enough.
fast as I could. Got home as fast as I could.
That's fair. It's raining outside here too, so
It's storming where we are.
I think it's storming out. I'm not sure.
It was like,
It looks like it is.
yeah,
Yeah, we have rain all day.
so now I'm here. Hello, chat.
Hello, chat.
Is anyone even in chat? Probably not.
There's two people, me and someone else.
Me. It's me.
It's me and Caitlin. We're the only two in chat. We're
Cool.
getting your views up, don't worry.
Well,
Get the views.
that doesn't really matter much until we get until we can stream regularly.
Yeah.
It's watch hours really only matter if we stream regularly.
Yippee!
We need like 4,000 watch hours too. It's how they stop view butting sub bots.
Mm-hmm.
Just need a certain amount of watch hours.
Mm-hmm. You're crazy like that.
Time to play random games while we wait.
Surely Riley will be here soon.
Yeah, I saw he was on Steam.
Well, he probably just left his computer on.
Maybe. Riley, join us!
Where's Riley?
Where's
Riley?
Riley?
Oh,
Yeah, Caitlin, do you think I'm doing a good for the voice of lesbian?
yes.
The worst part is,
Yo,
it's just,
the entire
I'm
game
just
is
talking like I
lesbian.
normally do when I'm tired.
Hmm.
And that seems to be working well.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll be. I am back. Also, yes, it is storming here too.
Thick. We love storming.
I just saw the sky go purple with lightning.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that we came home and stopped.
Yeah,
Thanks.
probably a good thing that they ended it early.
Silly storm.
Silly Storm. I hope Chris made it back okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's fine.
He's fine. And then it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, too. Yay.
Rain is fine, and storm is the problem.
Yeah. Storm is problem. Storm bad.
I like rain, but storm bad.
I like rain. Storm
Means I have to close my windows. Ugh.
Do you like
I can't just leave my windows open all night.
Oh, hello. We're talking about the weather.
Lesbian woman, let's go back to the game.
Lesbian.
Lesbian, let's go.
It's a lesbian.
Lesbians, yes!
It's a lesbian.
Root cause of being widespread depression of the central nervous system.
What would the symptoms be? What would it have looked like?
Lightheadedness followed by dizziness.
Yeah, they
Then
copyrighted this
headaches,
sickness.
disease, exhaustion.
Down with the sickness.
Anyway.
Loss of consciousness, and then finally respiratory arrest. Report shows that the EMTs tried intubation, and then resuscitation through electrical stimulation repeatedly. By the time he got to the emergency room, they were desperate enough to attempt direct artificial blood oxygenization. You cut me off.
I'm doing it
And
so
you're
that
certain of all
that there's not such a large break between things. I always press it before we go. You just stuttered on a word, so it went through.
Oh well, most of it, sweetie.
Most of it.
Yeah, it turned into quite the puzzle, and I'm used to having more pieces to start with. I was surprised a man as rich and famous as him didn't have any kind of biomes, but his file shows.
He wasn't a viable candidate for modding.
Yeah, that's right. Without that kind of first-hand tech, we don't have nearly as much data as we'd like. But he was extensively monitored from the moment the EMTs arrived. We're very certain about our conclusion.
Did you find anything else unusual about his body in your examination? Cuts or bruises?
No injection sites, nothing in any cavities.
Nothing at all, huh? Thank you, Yummy.
Of course, so. You're ready to view the body? We could skip it if you want. I know most people get squeamish around corpses.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay then, let's get started.
I forgot about her bid, and I remembered that it's only the guys who can see that entire thing.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's only the guys.
I'll just step out for a moment and give you some privacy.
Yes, please. Thank you. The last time we talked was on a Sunday. You're complaining. I remember that it's the principle of the matter. Right? You ordered this cheap piece of shit sculpture or something by mistake, and it came damaged, and you wanted to send it back for a refund. I gently reminded you with your salary, it was literally not worth your time. I kinda offered to throw it out for you since you're having so much trouble letting go. You're only offering because you want to see how loud it sounds shattering at the bottom of my trash can. I denied it, even though you were right, and it was obvious. I should have let you have that one.
I thought that he would look different. But he looks exactly the same as I remember. His skin is pale, and he's very still. But his face is the same. His hair, his hands.
You were expecting something more drastic.
The last time I saw him, he was alive. He smiled and he told me he would see me soon. Now he is dead. Something is gone. And I can't find the difference. I'm trying to look harder, but I think I might just not be capable of it. And I wonder why. Why I was created to not be capable.
Could be an issue of skill.
Skill issue!
Womp womp.
Or
Wow.
maybe it's not something that can be seen no matter how hard you look. But it's there. I guarantee it. I've seen the transition enough times to be sure that between life and death, the distinction has significance. To the dead, at very least.
You're going to smoke here? Now?
I'll pay the fine.
That's not the issue.
Were you expecting me to fall to pieces? Real boys grieve in all kinds of ways, Pinocchio.
And some don't grieve at all, it seems.
I'm a cold woman, sorry to disappoint. The hell? Why won't this thing light?
Adonai, you have your cigarette backwards. Oh?
Alright, it's back into cold storage for him, so. Need anything else?
Can you send me the chemical makeup for that compound you isolated?
Oh, sure. What's it's worth? Let me just.
Pay me $20 and I'll send it to you. It's got carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen with a hexagonal structure. So it's organic, but there's a number of metallic elements too. And if you had to speculate on its intended use based on what we know of its structure,
Well, it certainly acted like a depressant, binding to the receptor pathways and affecting the balance of neurotransmitter retake.
depressants are pretty rare in the designer drug scene.
True, people are always looking for a higher high or a crazier trip, but a more powerful depressant will just make you fall asleep. Not much needed to hit up the gray market for that kind of experience.
No, there's not. I see. Thanks again. You've been very extremely helpful during a difficult time.
Hey, anything you need, give me a ring.
Just make sure to go down on your knee before that. That's very generous.
Rockford's orders got me on call, so I'm already getting overtime for a whole weekend.
Glad to hear it.
Goodbye, Yumi.
Let's go, overtime pay.
Goodbye. That's not me. Yeah, actually, yeah, you know what, Sarah? You stay here. Push. Leave.
And goodbye to you, Greenie.
My name is Sarah.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Fucking lesbian.
She's a lesbian. She's a goth lesbian.
Up on ramps and down off ramps, above skywalks and under tram lines. The buildings got progressively more polished as we head to the most economically developed part of the city. Corporate territory, national headquarters for the likes of Howe Industry, Locke, Quinn, Tethys, Neath, each of them sheltering their own micro-city of employee accommodations beneath their skyscraper shadows. Whale Fall, the entirety of the ocean floor coming together to feast and grow and live. Live off the fetid rot fat of the leviathans that swallow generations of people by the mouthful.
Weight is commonly listed, and my weight is... Do I really have to disclose that?
Noble lays claims to one of the largest shadows in the city, towering nerve center for the whole nation's android industry. It means to be intimidating, I'm sure, but today I'm glad that Noble keeps such a sizable physical presence here. I need to answer about David and his work on Sarah. Answers I'd never get browsing the company website or speaking to a representative.
Synopsis, relationships. There are typically trivia sections as well. Should I start there?
Noble will have their guard up, and of course, but even that will tell me something. Where they let me walk, and who they let me talk to.
History.
Their efforts at performative transparency and their clumsy obfuscation will.
How did you know my father?
What?
I'm sorry, did I interrupt your brooding?
No. What did you ask?
My father. I know you were his friend.
Interrupt your brooding? No. I'm always brooding all the time.
I'm always brooding. But what was your relationship like?
Can't you just scroll through our socials?
Father avoided social media. And your online presence is not significant.
You say I don't have enough followers?
Essentially.
We went to the same college.
You studied programming?
Your power in Rise of Kingdoms is too low.
No, I studied all kinds of different things as an undergrad, but not technology.
Is that a good way to prepare for law school?
Law school? What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't go to no law school.
I got my degree online. I printed it out.
I went to Arizona.
I printed it out from Google.
I wasn't preparing for law school, or anything else really. David, though, he had talent, and he knew he wanted to do something with it. He studied programming, robotics, discrete math, cybernetics, and posed from obvious math, by the way, guys.
What classes did you share then?
Business ethics. I was the second best student in the class, and
Was the first?
he was the one who asked the most questions. Not sure about his actual weight ranking. He found the course challenging, and I clearly didn't, but despite being younger, guess he felt burned. He'd come to me after class to argue and sometimes to ask for help.
Father always talked about socializing like it was a chore. It was kind of you to give him a chance.
He didn't. I didn't. He was like a puppy, though. He just kept following.
He was like a puppy.
What? Like I was some kind of social butterfly? The belle of the ball?
You weren't?
One Sunday night, he knocked on my door, all panicked. Saying he was in bad shape for this tech course. There's a midterm or something the next day. I couldn't make heads or tails of the material, but I did my best to at least quiz him. He wasn't satisfied though, wanted to cram the rest of the night.
Father had to cram for an undergraduate midterm.
Did I say something scandalous?
He's been called the founder of modern programming.
Yeah, well, even founder types can have poor time management when they're 21. He was already fried by that point. Wasn't hard to tell what he was really asking for. So I went and stole a study aid for him.
You stole a controlled substance just to help him with studying?
No, that would be insane. No, I just pocketed some breath mints from the common room. Told him to pinch his nose and swallow fast, because the taste is so strong.
You gave him a placebo.
He already knew the content as good as he ever would. What he needed was to sleep. He could barely keep his eyes open by the time I got back from my daring heist. Didn't take much convincing for him to rest his eyes, just until it kicked in.
And the test?
B+, I think?
I'm surprised that Father stayed close with you after that. You stole and lied to him.
I stole and lied for him. And David understood that. He was good at understanding things without me having to spell them out. But I guess that's not the kind of thing that gets passed down through programming. Anyway, we kept in touch after that. First year of grad school, he published this paper.
The Turing Solution, a framework for programming adaptive linguistic heretics.
One of his advisors came up with that title. I forgot to read the rest of that sentence.
But it still hasn't failed any known Turing tests in years since.
Don't act like you're the one who deserves credit for it. He called me one weekend asking for advice on how to handle the attention. Job offers, interviews, apprenticeships, invitations to immigrate.
What did you tell him?
I don't remember telling him anything, actually. A lot of our conversations went like that. He would talk to me about whatever personal or professional problems was stuck in his head that day, and I would nod while he wore himself out. And at the end of the conversation, he'd thank me, even though I hadn't offered a single word of advice.
It's coming down hard now. Jeez.
I learned something today.
I can't hear Cooper at all now.
What did you
He's
know?
just not talking. I did not know that there were two discretes.
Hold up.
Yes.
I can't hear any of you guys now. I have to turn up my computer.
Dang. I'm like, what the fuck does discrete math mean? And so I looked it up, and I did not know that there were two discretes. It's a homophone.
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you guys now. Again.
Cool.
Sorry, my mom called. He took Noble's offer, and they took over his education, paid him to work on his master's during the day, and attend corporate and training at night. Whatever else Noble may be, They were smart enough to start listening to him early.
You are referring to his one-point doctrine.
Quality over quantity.
Simple and elegant, just like his code.
Simple and elegant, but an anathema to a global corporation with a supply chain designed for maximum capacity and just-in-time manufacturing. But obviously, they got over their distaste fast enough. In the span of a few years, Noble's gone from making manual labor ads for meager profit to being the world leader in intelligent as a service. Even as he was making money hand over fist, he still kept in contact with nobody like me. I moved to the city for my apprenticeship. He helped me put down a down payment on my apartment. Made up an excuse as to why he couldn't help me move boxes. So is that enough detail for you? Thoroughly convinced what he and I were in fact friends?
I am. But, Adonai, the favor that you owe him, what was it for?
That's private, understand? I have zero interest in talking about it with you. Say you understand.
I understand, Adonai.
We will be arriving shortly. Shall I send word ahead? Just tell them that David's lawyer is here. I've been here before. Sat right here in this lobby waiting for David to come and treat me to lunch. At least I think it was this lobby. Could have been some other floor. Could have been an entirely different building. All these corporate towers of Babel feel like interchangeable fractals to me, folding in on themselves in patterns of narcissistic paranoia. So monumental on the scale of their hubris, they needed to use non-Euclidean geometry when drawing up the blueprints. The greatest mind of each generation coming together just to find the most expensive way to shove their heads up their asses.
Adonai, is something bothering you?
Just doing the math on how long we'll be kept waiting here. Apparently, someone will be here shortly. So maybe if I pass the time by glaring around the place, it will improve my mood. I fucking love it. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
So much energy, so many people, also intent. Oh, that was you.
Oh.
You kidding. You kidding!
You kidding?
It's Saturday. The place is half empty.
But doesn't everyone work on Saturdays?
Oh, the parents do, so they don't have to find childcare on Sunday. Everyone else flips a coin, I guess.
All these people for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, what could they all possibly be doing?
Making work for themselves.
You can be very cynical, can't you?
Yeah, I'm terrible. But that guy over there has just been jiggling his cursor for the last 20 seconds. It's really funny. To think
Jiggle, jiggle.
this is only one room.
To think this is only one room. This complex is so massive that it doesn't even feel man-made. It's like it was carved out of the rock by waves, like it's always been there.
That's the con. If this place was actually natural, there'd be birds everywhere.
I hadn't considered that. Why aren't there birds in here?
Probably because of what they do to the ones that get in. I'm kidding. Though I don't have a better explanation. I want to make sure that everything else, so it's just
Just this big ass sign.
They changed the logo again.
Noble Electronics.
How does it feel stepping in here? Is this some kind of religious experience for you?
It's just the corporation where my father worked.
Careful now.
Guys, the board
Or
is
they'll
frozen
burn
chat.
you. Or they'll burn you for heresy against the company.
You said it again, the company, as if it's a proper noun. You're mimicking the employees, aren't you?
So it can't simply obey orders, but it can pick up on that?
Is this just a part of the corporate culture?
Noble's one of the biggest corporations there is. One of the biggest there has ever been. We mere humans can't hope to escape the gravity of anything that size, no matter where you live or how far off the grid you think you are. So imagine what it's like working for them. You live in company dorms, work in company quarters, wherever you go, that logo's above your head. You eat, sleep, and breathe on Noble's timetable as its discretion.
Riley!
Hello, Riley.
Almost fucking died. It's raining right now.
Yeah.
Rain. And I slipped and almost like cracked my head open.
Oh no!
When you spend
Oh,
your whole
no.
life inside it,
Oh, no.
Noble must feel big enough to be the only company there is. Why the fuck is it that I can't read regular words, but when it gets to like the hard words, I actually do pretty well at them? Like, I don't understand.
Autism. Why did it get so silent after I said that? Fuck you guys.
Whoever comes to greet us better have a pulse and some goddamn authority. My mood's starting to
No, Riley,
sour.
there was a big crack of thunder, and I was like, oh my god.
I know, it's so cool.
If they just send
Scared
their
me.
first link in their infinite chain of corporate bureaucracy, I'll make them wish. Riley, you missed lesbian.
Damn it!
Like,
I
no,
missed gay? Are you
no,
fucking
like
kidding?
this was lesbian lady. Also,
Dude!
and also a bit of Emma.
I'm
This
actually
is
pissed.
the assistant, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know who voiced the
Oh
assistant.
no, it's someone else. Who wants him? Logan, you got him.
What?
You got this guy.
Who wants him? Logan, you have him.
Be this
Okay.
scrungly man.
That's me.
Scrungly. You're the...
Hey there, Android Manufacturing Quality Control Eastern Division. Evan Dawes.
Love that.
Hi, Evan.
Hi, Evan.
So this is
You look like
I have
lesbian,
your
London.
signature.
Riley.
That's the lesbian.
Oh! Love her.
Dawes. Likes hammocks, calligraphy, and pale ale. Is he Pam?
Hair starting to gray.
Solving captchas.
Dude,
Struggles
solving
with- he's a
captchas
robot,
has
he's an
never
android.
been
He struggles with
closer.
solving that.
Solving captchas.
Evan Dawes, he says, like it's an afterthought. What's a name compared to your place in the hierarchy?
You seem familiar. Have you?
I'm David's lawyer.
Oh, then we must have.
Apologies. Let me just first say how sorry I am about his passing. You and everyone else at the company must be going through a lot right now.
As if it's a proper noun.
Thank you for taking the time with meeting with me.
You're welcome, but it's no big deal. Everyone's on the razor today, but what else is new? And compared to our PR or legal right now, our workloads in QA are. Never mind. How could I assist you?
Shortly before his passing, Dr. Asher began the process of registering this android.
Yes, that is Kurt.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish the job.
Look at that. It's definitely custom.
Look at that. Can't you see how excited I am to see something new? Gee.
He sounds like he
insane.
works a 9 to 5 and
Bro,
doesn't get paid overtime.
What the fuck do you mean 9 to 5? He works like a 9 to 7. No, he works a 9 to 9.
Wait,
They
Look at his
just wo-
fingers. He looks like an
True.
android. Look at his
A
fingers. He
9
looks
to
like an android.
9 with no paid overtime.
Good thing I sought out an expert.
Warm. It goes without saying. Reminds me of the A16 Premiere, if anything.
No, it's because he has
The
robotic
barcode
hands.
is clearly printed. No visible defects.
He's not robot. He just has a mod for hands that
He-
let
he-
him do stuff.
Yeah, he has robotic hands.
He's like,
Well, you're right.
He's like James.
It doesn't
fucking
correspond
Barnes.
to anything we got on file.
Hmm.
Well, they sent you to the right man for the job. Now we just need to go to the right place.
Not far, I hope.
It's in the building.
In the building, that could mean anything from down the hall to half a day's hike.
The production line on B9 should have everything we need.
Do you do manufacturing inside your corporate headquarters?
P9's a fully functional production floor, but it was only built for demonstrative purposes. The new clients made deals upstairs about how many and in what shape or size, and they come down to the basement to see how the sausage is made.
Have enough money to build a
You
fake
just
fast
assume that it
food
happens.
just for guests.
No room, the room where it happened.
It happens. Do do
Smart,
do do do.
so long as
do.
you're only giving tours and not giving away company secrets.
No need to worry about that. We make intellectual security very seriously around here.
No kidding. There are even 11 cameras on us at the moment I can see. Who knows how many pairs of modded eyes are aiming our way.
All of them.
Clearly nothing happens here without the almighty company knowing about it. So
Like
if
it's
they
a
try
Some
to
might
claim-
say that this company is kind of lethal.
So if they try to claim ignorance about anything, it's gonna piss me off.
Funny joke.
Whoa, what the fuck was that?
Alright,
By the
we got a
way-
guy here!
What the fuck was that?
What do you mean?
What?
What was that? What
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I didn't see anything.
You got like really scary for a second.
As soon
Yeah,
as
like,
I did
really
that, I was
scary for a
waiting
second.
for it, Logan.
There's a guy.
It really
Oh,
is
the
fairly
factory.
fringe down here. I don't want to take too much of your time, but it's pretty rare to see all these in person, you know. Would you mind terribly if I looked around for a moment?
No problem. I've got some prelim paperwork I need to handle anyway, so have at it.
I better take full advantage.
Just-
I'll
just
need
don't
more
do
than
that scary
cursory
shit again.
knowledge if I want to figure out where Sarah came from and why David wanted me to take custody. Just like
Take custody of the child.
Take custody.
Take custody of a child.
I'm gonna look around.
You're a
You
mother
stay put
now.
In the meantime,
Adonai?
wouldn't want to lose you among the rest of the merchandise. By the way, can I just mention I love this style of shit.
There's a fire, actually.
There's something out here that caught my eye when we came in.
This is reminding me of one of
A
my
very
least favorite
familiar shade
dungeons
of
in
crimson.
Persona 5.
In Persona 5, that's exactly what I was thinking. This
I-
reminds me of the worst part of Persona 5.
If I squint through
Persona
the glass
5.
out of the floor, there are temperature control fluid tanks. The glass and plastic flows an eye-catching scarlet that transitions into. So you add the blood towards the end. Logan.
You mean the accident? Yeah, relatively late in the process. Something out of place.
Androids have blood, even if it's not officially labeled as such. But it isn't red, it's pink. Sometimes milky.
Danganronpa reference.
Sometimes neon.
Whoa!
Occasionally
Oh.
garnish. But pink. I didn't think the Occident would be red.
Oh, right. Sorry, I barely noticed it at this point. The color is natural, comes from the biomanufacturing process. That chromofuge out there removes the byproducts, the waste, the excess pigment.
Changing it from blood red to psychopop pink.
Without that chromofuge, our android's flesh would come out looking all the wrong colors.
That may be true. It isn't possible. It probably isn't, but it may be. But I have a simpler explanation. Blood is primal. The side of its carriers weight. The side of it carries weight. They change the color of
There
the
you
product's
go.
blood so that when an android gets a bottle broken against its face, no one bats an eye. Feels like I've seen this before. That's right. There's one in David's lab. Logan.
What? That's nano-grade elementary manufacturer, nanofacturer for short.
I like to think that's in person.
Oh, what do you
What?
want?
Real high-quality piece of machinery. Each of them built in, housed by Randock Mechanics.
I just want to mention that's like what I do with ADHD, where I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, and then I answer the question, but it's always like, what? And then I answer it, and they're like, why the fuck did you say what?
It's because the brain buffers like Windows Explorer sometimes.
Yeah.
I 100% get that.
Dude, my
Real.
parents get so
Yeah,
pissed
yeah.
at when that happens. I'm like, dude, I can't do anything. My brain is like, huh? Let me think. But that's what it is. What does it
gotta-
do?
It's got a
I do that
register.
too. That happens to me too. Nano level flash fab. Basically a 3D printer for nano machines.
You build nanomachines in
Wow,
a factory
nano
for
is
use
futuristic
in your
sounding
androids.
word. Wow.
Raw materials are cheap. Literally elementary, so no sense in getting them shipped in.
I want you to know, Riley, we had a term called cyberpunks earlier.
Yeah.
It's mostly the medical models that make use of them. Inject a couple thousand nanites into a patient's bloodstream, run the diagnostics, and provide a solution.
A 3D printer for nanomachines. So what kind of ink does it use?
Silicon, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, building blocks. They feed into the nano printer and it assembles the machines particle by particle.
Like a ribosome building structurally complex proteins out of chemically simple nucleic acids. Must be time consuming.
You would think, but Randock cracked the code on parallel microfracturing. The inside's crystalline, sprawling like an ant's nest. Raw materials enter at one of the thousands of different entry points, combining and recombining at intersections. The finished project ends up at the center and drips out a liquid solution. Distilled nectar, swimming with millions of nanites in just 2 minutes.
Nectar? It's sticky?
It can be, depending on the desired output, but the door vacuum seals while it's cooking, so don't worry. It's completely spill-proof.
What a relief. Not exactly a box of paper clips David could just have brought home from the office one day. He must have bought his own for some reason. I will also show this because I want to look at something. Poison. Alright. The other thing I want to do, not reading list. Search terms. This is my favorite word in the entire game so far. Neobility. Rich people who came into power relatively new. It's very...
Relatively new. They're
Like,
new
new
money.
Yeah, they're new money, but they're
Yeah,
called
they're new money.
neobility, like nobility, except new. So it's fucking...
Neobility.
Oh. Sorry. I had to cough. What's being built out there?
Your mom.
Logan.
I was distracted. Our top of the line, brand new bestsellers. The Animate 16 Warm.
Looks kind of cold out there.
We keep the factory floor refrigerated. Slows the organics already tuned metabolic activity down to a minimum.
That explains why the room doesn't smell like rotting flesh. The flesh out there is only somewhat rotting. Slowly. I just meant I'm surprised to see metal.
Oh. Well, the A16s have an alloy endoskeletons. The organics are layered on later in the process.
Sounds like what Sarah told me about herself. Maybe she really was the A16's prototype. But it's hard to imagine bridging the gap between her and these scattered doll parts. I get that you can grow just about anything from Lax Gemini, but how do you get the synthetic and organic to work together?
Yeah, that was our first concern when R&D began work on the worm concept. But 1.0s were real skin with synthetic muscle. And it was a horror show. Metal pulling on skin was just...
Right.
For 2.0, they worked backwards. Organic muscles, organic skin. But digital signals on organic hardware was dead end.
Didn't the muscles flex when you passed an electric current through them?
They'd flex or unflex, sure. But that's not nearly precise enough for facial expressions. Looked like puppets strung up on live wires. We used the test footage to haze interns, actually.
You must have figured
Lamau.
something out.
Lamau.
The A16s wouldn't look out of place on the runway.
I was about to say we love hazing, but that was like, nope,
Thank
I
you.
can't say
We
that
try.
actually.
No, we don't.
We ended up reaching out to mod companies. Well, we actually just bought out half a dozen of them, but
Right.
they figured out how to get human nervous systems moving to mechanical limbs decades ago. We just needed to find a mechanical nervous system to move. Living limbs.
A very clumsy attempt to avoid the very clumsy attempt to avoid using the word human. I got it. Don't worry.
High precision mods are slotted straight into the nervous system. They receive their input from neurotransmitters, not by electricity.
So you had to do the opposite.
Exactly. We created a synthetic neurotransmitter that our androids could use to communicate with organic flesh.
Where did the breakthrough come from, Dr. Asher?
Partly, he led the team that built the motor neurons in this analogy. They carry commands from the central nervous OS to individual muscles across the chassis, but the the synthetic analog serotonin. That was actually an old brainchild of the VP of Android Futures, Helen Jung.
Jung, or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's
Young
It's young.
would make sense.
yeah, Young.
Young.
Hasn't David mentioned a Dr. Young before? Sounds impressive.
She's one hell of a biochemist. Or she was, I guess. Not much time for individual lab work when you get her kind of pay grade.
So Young collaborated with David on the technology that enables warm androids. As I thought, whatever went into Sarah that makes the android so distinct, he couldn't have taken sole credit for it. Young, did you partner with her on this? Make sure there is nothing else here. Nothing else here, no. Seems to share some components with that coffin Sarah was napping in. If Dawes does quality assurance, is there some kind of android calibration device? It's probably what he'll use to register Sarah. Looks a little... Is Sarah tall enough for it to recognize her? What have we got on this data pad? Some kind of write-up. Subject of Sullivan's speech.
I'm not gonna shoot the screen. Shut up.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it.
He's gonna shoot the screen.
God damn it.
Surprised to find reading material like that around here. Are they passing it around as a gauge, or are they actually afraid of Sullivan's Peak around here? Noble must be... If the peak does exist, they'll be coming up on its fast, now that androids are warm. That I got wrong. Oh, I didn't! Noble's entire product line, maybe their entire industry, could go bottoms up if people start to think it's cruel. If Sarah's any indication of where their androids are headed, I could see some people getting uncomfortable. I'm missing something. Where?
Something is missing. Pookie's missing.
An inhaler left out on the desk. Probably a half dozen empty ones in one of the drawers. Dawes, the inhalers, they're distributed by the company, correct?
Oh yeah, HR handles it. They personalize your dosage and prescription, and update it based on performance and job fulfillment reviews.
Man, it is insane.
What the
These
fuck
people
is
give...
happening to me?
You're on meth,
Something's
Riley.
happening. Something's happening. Something's happening.
What?
I don't know, like my computer just started fucking exploding for some reason. I think I'm back.
Sorry, that was me.
Did you get a virus? Did you shoot your screen?
Did you shoot your screen?
I might have shot my screen.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, this is insane, by the way, because I know this was mentioned, and the last one. So those inhalers aren't full of, like, asthma medication, they're full of, like, meth, basically, so people can work better.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
Amphetamine.
funny.
Yeah, it's drugs. It's hard drugs.
Yeah, it's hard drugs and a company just prescribes it to work. It's like Wizard of
Or
Oz.
the, like inhalers just Pez where they take a bit of, like they open it, take a bit of it.
No, it's like Lethal Company. Anyway, any other corporations do it the same way.
No fun. I would love to
Yeah,
take my
pretty
meth
much.
like that. Open, like, a
Everyone's
Pez
trying to
little
keep pace with each
container.
other, so. Can't have your employees losing focus on the job. Could cost you who knows how much in lost efficiency.
Sorry if this is insensitive, but given what happened to David, are overdoses common in the company?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says.
Overdoses, that is. Not hospitalizations or deaths.
Yeah.
Pretty organized these days.
Yeah, so I have my overdose scheduled for Friday at 5 o'clock. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah.
No one else took this
So
time.
I apologize for the inconvenience, and I appreciate your understanding during this time. Like a company-wide email.
From, like, the CEO of, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm overdosing tomorrow, so just let you guys know.
This
You
is
still have to work. You still
This
have
is
to work and
everyone's.
everything.
This is everyone's designated overdose date.
And times.
You can-
Just
you can
please
do it
do
once
not
a
do it
month.
before it. You can do it once a month, and it should last for about 10 minutes. Any over, and I'm docking your pay.
If you survive, you get a raise.
That reminds me, I work where I work. I'm not mentioning this because I don't want to. Specifically, one of the little kids came in here and were like, "Do you guys have baby cats in your store?" And I was like, "No, unfortunately, I wish we did though." Because, and they're like, "You have cats," and like, there's a mandatory cat break you get throughout the day when it just gets too much, where you just go in with a bunch of kittens.
That would be awesome.
A mandatory cat break. Man,
Break.
back when I started in consulting, pretty much everyone had an embarrassing story from their first 2 years where they popped a few too many greens and missed the on-ramp.
Popped greens.
Weed!
Yeah, it used to be pills. Green to keep you going, red to keep, yellow to keep you there. Swallow red after brushing your teeth and get to your bunk fast. But yeah, the inhalers are a huge improvement. Like going from torches to the light bulb. They sync straight to your personal biomes and adjust dosage in real time. Overdoses are way down.
That's great to hear.
Interesting.
The trainees under me don't realize how good
need
they've
that.
got it.
Who said that?
Who said what?
Who said what?
Huh?
I didn't hear.
I didn't hear anything. What?
Anyway,
Kids probably won't even have to learn how to purge.
you. Gross, first of all. Yeah, I know, right? Just like, yeah, I'll agree with him. That's totally normal.
Sure.
Me, a murderer, is
All
saying
done.
that.
All done. You ready to get the ad handled?
Thanks for humoring me.
Can you have it step in this to the scanner?
As he says.
Understood.
Right then. What are we looking at here? Whoa. There's a lot to unpack here.
We theorized it may have been Asher's pincushion.
A pincushion, huh? That would explain some of what I'm reading here.
She's so unimpressed.
What language is that on the screen?
Tess. You know, Tesseract? All noble products and... well, pretty much all products are programmed in Tess. Easy to read and write. Stay compliant. Now this model, what's it go by?
Sarah.
This Sarah model.
No, my name is Sarah.
My name is Sarah, dumbass.
Well, it got everything that sixth line
Fucking
has,
child
that's for sure.
disappeared, Damn it.
I'm so proud of her. Now I just need to teach her how to kill.
Organic skin, hybrid muscles, advanced facial processing and emoting,
Unless,
advanced emoting.
unless she's the one who killed
Emotes.
Dr. Asher.
Emotes.
Advanced emoting starts doing the default dance.
Starts doing the fuck ass jig.
Starts doing the fuck ass
The Lethal Company jig.
Yeah.
But there's a lot crammed in here that's still in development. Like, in the idea phases.
It fucking happened again. What the shit is going on?
I'm
Stop shooting your computer!
It's just so fun.
It gets such a rush! Come on, Logan! Come on, Mom!
building
You don't understand.
Solar hair strands, decentralized redundant power, mental and physical overclocking with extended tolerances. The data storage is so large I can't... No, wow. He had to measure it using...
Hell of a poker face.
Wait, decryption and signal hijacking? That's...
Hacking.
Illegal.
essentially...
Does that mean it could hack its own tenants?
Oh no, that's unthinkable. Literally, for an ad. For an ad to break its tenants would be like you stepping into traffic or dropping a baby.
Well, I would do one of those.
Probably dropping the baby.
Yeah.
If you're physically capable of it, it's not something you would choose to ever choose to do.
Some people do walk into traffic. Psychotic, addicts, the mentally ill. Does that mean there are androids?
Well, no, there aren't crazy androids. So yeah, I guess my analogy doesn't hold up.
That's okay. So it can't hack itself, but it was given the ability to hack other systems.
The industry line is that such a capability could be an option in certain emergency scenarios. Breaking through the firewalls and encryption of surrounding electronics to broadcast directly to police or military channels. Speaking of military, this musculoskeletal setup is
I think you need a hit
drastic.
of that, inhaler you have there.
I've never seen this on a consumer model. No, I'm just always tired.
Here, I'll help you. Grabs inhaler, starts putting it towards face.
Sticks it into his mouth.
Breathe.
Presses button.
Sticks it into ear. Presses button. Just
What
Can you
the
lift a
fuck
car
are
or
you doing?
something, Sarah? This is how you do the drugs, isn't it?
Most cars, it would depend on the center of gravity.
Lady, this is Sarah. Could wrestle a public disturbance walker and come out on top.
Yes.
Fucking ATST? What the fuck? Anyway, that's what that is.
And in terms of computational ability, the estimate says that can't be right.
Look, dolls. I was actually hoping you could tell me something about the software or the metadata. Who worked on it and when?
Right. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Getting logs have been purged.
That doesn't sound very above the board.
Sorry, I can't tell you anything about who worked on Sarah or when.
Any chance you can restore those logs?
Not here. Not with this machine. I need the computers that were actually used for programming this model. Any ideas where those would be?
Sarah?
I cannot answer that question with any accuracy.
I had a feeling you might say that. Heads, am I right?
Sorry, I can tell you that the coding is unique. There's hints of A16 in there. A few of the same conclusions. It's just Dr. Asher or whoever took very different paths to get here.
So Sarah has even less in common with every other android on the inside.
Sorry, didn't expect to hit a dead end here.
Not at all. You've been very helpful. Can we still get the registration done?
Yeah, no problem. We've got the software and forums all set up here. Occasionally we let a new business partner bring one home fresh from the oven, you know?
Straight from the oven.
Oven. Gross.
Alright, a few basic questions then. Who's going to be the official owner of this unit?
She is.
As it says, unless the will disagrees, it's my responsibility.
Alright then. You're fine with the designation, Sarah. We can set it to anything if you'd like.
Well, actually, I was thinking of Poopy Buttface.
What?
What?
Never mind, Sarah will do fine.
Okay, this part's all standard. Civilian model, address, contact info I could get from your crumbs. Do you want to reset to factory defaults? Could clear up a lot of quirks.
Not right now.
Last thing then is the grading. I'm reading 23 tenants here. Nothing too far out of the ordinary.
23? That's higher than I expected talking with it. She seems more malleable than others.
Don't blame yourself. Guessing tenant count from outward appearance has become a crapshoot. Not like it used to be. Used to be the only way they had 3 tenants total, and every unit had to have them. Then came the first accidents, the first lawsuits, then the hearings, then the legislature.
And the demand for more tenants. A tenant making sure ads couldn't endanger the state. A tenant stating that ads wouldn't divulge private information without prior consent. There was a campaign calling for a tenant to weigh child and adult lives equally during risk assessment. There was a campaign calling for a tenant to do the opposite.
Companies wanted their asses covered. Okay.
I
There
actually
was never much incentive to deny a requested tenant, so the list just ballooned until the military entered the market in full force.
You sound like you don't approve.
I wouldn't go that far. They needed their ads to be able to pull the trigger when ordered to, without clearing 5,000 lines of loaded hard-coded decision points to get there. I get that. But since the armies are the only ones using tech with bare minimum tenants, all the best, least cluttered, most elegant code is only used for war games. It's not very romantic. Well, not like I was on the jury.
Department of Advanced Defense Projects versus Zenith Dynamics. The Supreme Court sided with the military's requests and set a new precedent that every other army around the world would race to meet, changing tenants from a mandated list at the root of every ad source code to a choose-your-own checklist.
It's funny. Ads with the most tenants, they're so locked up you can't even have a conversation with them. And outside the armed forces, the only ads with single-digit tenant counts are just vacuuming full of floors. The most impressive ones, like the one you've got here, fall somewhere in the middle. Sorry, went on a tangent there. Only thing left is the evaluation.
Oh, what gets evaluated? Your psychology.
Everything.
Have you ever killed before? No.
Fuck!
Fuck! I
No.
feel
Fuck! Total financial worth.
I
For
lied.
insurance purposes.
Don't fucking do that. What do you mean you lied? You heard that?
What do you mean? I didn't do anything.
Sure. No room for human error, they insisted, with no sense of irony. Wow. I mean, I know it was custom, but
What price could they have possibly... That's a lot of digits.
you should know these formulae are pretty conservative with their estimates. Stingy, even.
If Sarah's really David's last and greatest work, they say some things are priceless, but when you force an insurance algorithm to pick a number,
Try not to get any scratches on it, I guess.
She's not a car.
She's not a car. You spoke differently back there.
Hmm.
With Dawes, you spoke like he did, it seemed.
Like I copied his accent.
You seemed to mirror his effect, his tone.
It's called being friendly. What's your point?
It was just an observation.
You can choose to keep those to yourself, you know. No tenant required.
Why were you so concerned about registering me in the first place, Adonai?
For the same reason I wouldn't drive around in a car without a license plate. Any cop or just a well-placed camera could have spotted your barcode and seen that it wasn't set up with any actual data.
And then they would have arrested me, and then they would have thrown me in the slammer.
No, they would have arrested me and put you in an evidence locker.
An android can't get arrested?
People get arrested. Property gets seized. And then smashed. Great, you put us over the weight limit.
I did no such.
Morgan, counselor.
Morgan, counselor,
You got
your
it.
presence has been requested on the upper floors.
Oh no.
Who's asking?
Vice President of Android Futures, Helen Jung.
Oh shit.
Or is it Jung? It's probably Jung.
It's probably Jung.
Mhm.
Probably you.
I should have assumed, but I still have the opening move. Tell her I'll be right up.
I'll redirect your elevator now.
Taking control of your elevator is very
Convenience.
forceful. As if Noble is trying to directly steer your investigation.
If Noble wanted to shut me down, they wouldn't have bothered to be subtle.
I suppose they could simply refuse to cooperate.
Or just let the elevator drop.
Thunk. Blat.
Okay. Yay, this is gonna be fun.
Executive office. Oh.
Right, speaking first is a sign of weakness, is it? And here I thought I could avoid wading into the swamp of corporate pretend power dynamics. Silence is only awkward if you care. I can just ignore social cues all day long. I am autistic.
Who's Jung?
Who wants to be Jung?
I haven't had a character in a bit.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
It's
it.
chill.
Yeah.
Can I have a personality diagnosis real quick?
Very business oriented. Very
Businesswoman.
businesswoman, a lot of pride in what she does.
I always liked this time of day.
Not too muggy for you.
No, I never liked a clear blue sky. It always seemed cold to me.
You're in luck. The sky gets more colorful every year.
As the air quality drops. Childish, isn't it? Marveling at the small sheen of a rainbow dancing on the surface of a massive oil spill. Apologies for waxing poetic. It's been a very unusual 24 hours around here.
Dr. Jung.
Just miss is fine.
Miss Jung, I guess the feeling you didn't bring... I get the feeling you didn't bring me up here just to talk about the weather. Let's check her profile. December...
Yay.
Red
DP,
meat flower
the
cake.
Android Futures. high thread counts. Fluent in 3 languages. She enjoys baseball. Cool. Getting children.
Baseball games. Fluent in 3.
Man, of course they
likes
still
baseball.
have that entire like thing of whatchamacallit. Money laundering is still around this day and age. Because everyone
yes.
knows that's what baseball is. It's just money laundering.
Amazing.
For real. No, I brought you up here to express my condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you, though I could say the same. I know you and David worked together for many years.
Yes, we did, but as much as I'd like to just drop everything and process, the company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. Or anyone. Was Dawes of any help?
No, he was an idiot. Darn.
No, he was an idiot.
She sent him trying to be helpful.
What?
Or just trying to control the narrative. He was great. But that must mean you know why I'm here.
I don't want to make assumptions.
Oh, she's
No.
so angry.
No need, I'll be explicit. I'm here as an officer of the court, which means I'm bound by law to document every rock I turn over and every person I speak to.
Yes, the lawyers made that all very clear.
Lawyers?
You have an android. It's not one of ours.
I didn't think those existed. You can tell that quickly? Got all the faces memorized?
It's easy enough to remember the major archetypes we use, yes.
Sexy man, sexy lady, normal man, normal lady. Those are
Normal
ordered.
lady,
Dwarf
mediocre
woman.
man, mediocre lady.
We don't have
This is-
child in ours.
Yeah, we don't have itty bitty baby.
We may
We have
be rich,
dwarves.
but we have some kind of respect for ourselves and our products. If you're nuts about your work,
I think
maybe.
you're nuts.
It's a recent acquisition. Very
Frequent.
recent, in fact. One of David's last requests, apparently.
David asked you to take it?
No, he forced me to. I didn't have a choice.
Nah, he forced
Well,
me to
sounds
my
like
will.
David.
He threatened me at gunpoint. I think he might have been the Heartbreak Killer. Can you fucking imagine if she said that?
I've been told that you've been on to David's estate already.
The police gave me full access to the scene.
Then you know that he wasn't alone last night.
Yeah, was it you?
There was a single witness who met with him and called emergency services when he fainted.
I was that witness.
Holy shit, I was just playing around.
Pretty obvious. Because the... I mean...
Imagine that. I imagine Sarah saying that.
Really? Obviously. There aren't many people David would bother meeting with in person, let alone welcoming them into his house and offering them a drink. I also knew that Jung was his superior on paper, if not in fame. And I knew that the witness had Executive Plan 3 insurance, so they had to be higher up than David. Well then, do your lawyers know we're having this conversation?
Of course. They're pulling their hair out about it as we speak.
I can't imagine why. The police cleared you. And you were well within your rights to ask for some privacy, given the high-profile nature of all that's happened. So why call me up here? Why cut through all the red tape your lawyers painstakingly hid you behind?
Eventually, you, or some clever lawyer like you, would get the record opened. through legal means or otherwise. The company's enemies are legion, and they have a prying knife for every occasion.
Still, that would have taken time. Time you could have used to get ahead of what could be the biggest PR hurdle Noble's ever seen.
Touché.
Touchy. Just fucking.
Touchy.
Touchy.
Touchoir.
And
So perhaps the truth of the matter is that I simply didn't want to hide. David was my colleague for several years. If I were in your shoes, I would have questions as well.
They were lovers.
you're doing that for my stake? No, they weren't. I'm gonna tell you right now, no, they weren't. You'll meet
They
his
were
lover.
lovers.
You'll meet his lover.
Oh.
And we've met her. It's Jung. No, my reasons are purely selfish. I'm only hoping that talking to someone whose job isn't to defend me from all consequences might prove therapeutic.
Bruh.
If she wants to play confessional, that's fine by me. But is that really all that's going on here?
Bye, I guess, Aiden.
Why don't you start from the
Didn't-
beginning then?
I guess.
We didn't say anything, right?
No, his power might have
No.
gone out. He lives in an
It's,
old house and it's raining. Like, bad.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
You went to his home last night.
Yes, at around 7:30 p.m., the building's
Penumbra.
Penumbra.
Penumbra captured all of that quite
Penumbra.
clearly.
You fell ill.
I was
around
gonna
8
give
PM.
it like this the silent P, like pneumonia.
So you
Pneumonia.
spent half an hour together? Why the late call in person?
We had an intense discussion yesterday afternoon. David never came in on Saturdays, and I didn't want to spend the weekend glaring at him through screens, so I visited, and he let me in, and we talked.
About
The good old days, if you can believe that.
the 1860s. Fuck yeah.
Oh, when I was just a wee child in 2016.
No, that's too early. That's too early.
That would make her like 70 years old.
Mhm.
So
I feel like that's reasonable.
Yeah.
no,
This is-
it's not 70.
No, it would be 70 years old.
What year does this game take place in?
1986.
again?
2086.
If she
sorry.
was born in
I was about to say 1986. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's 2086.
2086.
Yeah.
you're saying if she was born in 2016, we're saying when she was a child.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she would be like
Yeah,
in
no,
her,
she'd
in her
be
80s.
really old. I didn't realize it was 2086. Back
She'd
when I
be
was a
really old.
child in 2025.
Still way too early. What the fuck?
Still pretty early.
It's okay. Shut up.
How long ago was that?
7 or
Oh.
8 years ago.
Yeah,
I was a
I fucking love when they just prove us wrong immediately. This young.
7 or 8 years ago, I was a child.
Putting a number on it, it doesn't sound that long ago, but it feels. We spent a while like that, just talking. He was lively and sharp, and I never would have thought a few minutes later
That he would be dead?
that he would commit suicide in front of me.
Seppuku.
Seppuku.
Seppuku in front of me.
I like the pronunciation you're putting on your P there.
Seppuku.
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 A
Seppuku.
firm reply. What happened?
He killed himself in front. I just fucking said that.
Alright.
A quarter before. He got up, walked back into his workshop, and then he must have went down into his basement to get us a bottle. I checked some messages in the meantime, enjoyed the view.
False. You
Yes,
could never enjoy the
wonderful.
view. It fucking sucks.
You're miserable and hate everything. You're lying.
You're lying.
In other words, she stayed on camera.
He came back with a bottle of whiskey and 2 plastic cups. We drank and talked. I wasn't too keen on the red Solo cups that he gave us, but you know, for being quite rich as he was, you think he'd have some sort of finer drinking glass.
Oh
but
no,
no
Riley.
one's upset about it.
Riley.
No
You know
one's
that
upset about it. I'm not upset about it in the slightest.
Riley,
no.
yeah, Riley, they were red Solo cups, by the way.
I know. He got
You know
Quiet.
that song Red Solo Cup that came out about I don't know, maybe 70
like,
years ago.
70 years ago. I'm a real big fan of that song Red Solo Cup that came out like 70 years ago. I thought he was just getting drunk.
I'm actually not a fan of it at all.
I just fucking lied to you.
I hate
That's-
country.
I hate old country music.
I prefer our modern country music.
It's just
With
techno.
emphasis on the cunt.
On the country music. Yes. I didn't get worried until he started to fall asleep.
Logan, I want you to know, it probably didn't pick it up. I was cackling for that one.
Country music.
You tried to wake him up?
He wasn't responding. I tried to shake him awake, but he didn't seem... I left him and ran to the kitchen to use the security system.
Didn't think to use your phone?
No. I suppose I didn't.
Guilty! She's guilty! She killed him.
Guilty! She doesn't know how to use an iPhone!
God, of course Apple would still
What
be
the fuck
around
is an
at this time.
iPhone?
Apple
God,
would
you
definitely
Android
be around.
user.
It's the year 2086. We're probably on the iPhone 400 at this point.
It's like the size of my entire torso.
Yeah, it's just huge.
The tablets are
And
actually
ladies
smaller
still
now.
and ladies still don't have pockets in most of their clothes.
We still haven't invented woman pockets.
Well, I mean, one of them does. Oh no, that's gloves. Never mind, I'm stupid. Go ahead.
But it worked out. The Penumbra's emergency protocol summoned a VTOL straight to his helipad with one button press. When I returned to the parlor, he was limp. I moved him to the floor as delicately as I could.
Fucking pushes him off the chair.
Had fucking suplexing him as delicately as I could. He had a heartbeat, but I just did what I could until they arrived.
Heartbreak!
Heartbeat!
Oh my god, he was a heartbreak killer.
Heartbreak killer! Oh my god, he was the heartbreak killer!
Holy
went
shit,
with-
you're the
Maybe you're
heartbreak
the
killer!
heartbreak
Guilty!
killer!
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty.
You went with them to the hospital, I take it.
Guilty.
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 Yes, they insisted. They checked my vitals and ran a talk screen. I don't like those, which came back clean. Surprisingly.
As you know,
The only
I'm on
drugs
meth.
I'm on are the drugs of love and work.
The drugs of love and work, which is meth.
It's bad.
I do so much meth!
So
Today is my
Why-
overdose day.
This way.
I'm
yeah.
looking at my schedule. My overdose is due, actually. Give me just a second.
My overdose was 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, that's
I
the
missed
stuff.
my overdose!
This is such a stupid bit.
I wasn't paying close attention to what they were saying at that point.
Fuck
But
your
I'm
father,
sure
fuck
they
your-
ran through every step of the CCE SOP. LMNOP, QRS, that's what they were paid to do.
You seem certain that it was suicide.
Yes.
Why? How can I know you didn't kill him?
As I said, he got quieter as the time passed, and he
You
spoke
blue
less.
Bo.
But the last thing he said to me, the last clear thing he said,
Fuck your father.
was
Fuck your...
that he was happy ending it here. Said he was content. And he downed his glass after that. He drank every last drop.
False! Some of it spilled out!
Does that sound
Fuck
like
you.
David Asher to you?
Curious, restless, and perfectionist David? No, I guess it doesn't. Ooh! I have 5 choices. I can't wait to
I
go-
want to talk about Sarah!
Talk about Sarah.
I want to talk about Sarah!
So this android, Sarah...
Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. I like
Hi.
it. Kind of sounded like the balloon boy. Hi.
Yeah, that was
Even
very
Dawes
good.
couldn't
Hello.
find any real
Hello?
detail on where
Hello.
it came from.
It's not in any of our systems?
I'm afraid not. Did David ever talk to you or anyone else at the,
I'm in your
the company
walls.
about a pet project?
Pet?
No, he never gave me any indication like that. And if he didn't talk to me about it, I seriously doubt he confided in anyone else at the company. David didn't trust anyone higher on the chain than himself, and anyone below him. Frankly, they couldn't possibly hope to give him advice.
He never mentioned me?
His own daughter?
Oh. No, never.
Androids don't come cheap. You never heard about him requisitioning parts or resources. There were never any discrepancies with his company credit card.
The company's accountants are mirthless. Even by industry standards. They wouldn't humor anybody. Not even David Asher. If they had ever detected financial discrepancies, there would have been an uproar loud enough you could hear it in the mailroom.
You have a mailroom?
Not since the 30s. Just a figure of speech.
She was so excited.
She was so excited.
So excited about that mailroom. I wanted to
couldn't have-
take through people's stuff.
I wanted to commit a crime.
Sorry, my brain just went to the elf where like he's dancing in the mailroom during the movie.
He couldn't have taken resource. Fuck you!
You fucking
I
took
was just
forever!
about to read it! But no one would deny David Asher information. He would have been able to obtain all the necessary data to build his own android. Then, with enough time and money, he could privately purchase the raw materials himself.
Dude was fucking rich.
Hey, guys.
He had the money.
Guys. Welcome to your new Pokemon journey. Please, choose your starter.
They are
They're Pokemon
they are
starters.
red, green, and blue.
That's so funny.
I don't understand. It must
I
have
choose
taken
Sarah.
him years to build Sarah.
I choose Sarah.
Sarah's definitely the correct choice. It's like how Foy Coco is in that gen. It's Sarah.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing anything illegal, except the hacking stuff. So why keep it a secret? I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry,
Because he hates
I'm
me.
answering a very important message right now. Give me a fucking break. I said
are-
earlier that the company doesn't wait for anyone, not even me. But he was private and a perfectionist. Perhaps he simply wasn't proud of his results.
punches her, like punts her out the window, like full on, just like boom.
Out the window.
Could be.
She was so sad.
Sad. Oh my god.
You said the CCE standard operating procedure a moment ago. What is that?
Those are my drugs.
Sure, give me a second.
Hmm?
What?
Huh?
Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay.
So she's
Good.
on her phone,
What am I
like
talking
she
about?
gets the message, you up? And it's like fucking sexting.
No, shut the fuck. I'm doing something right now. Give me a little bit. CCE stands for Counter Corporate Espionage, which is just industry doublespeak for corporate espionage. Only used in self-defense. You understand?
So, noble anticipated employees at your level getting poisoned.
They give us all kinds of CCE training. Subtly, of course, usually disguised on the itinerary as leadership workshops or psychiatric evaluations.
They train you to expect to get murdered at these leadership workshops?
Murder is fairly rare at our level. More likely, they'll want us too sick to work.
Let us strain.
Let us drain, motherfucker!
I'm
Don't you dare speak my lines! Let us drain company resources in a hospital bed while our position sits vacant.
Not smart. Like, snipers purposefully avoiding vital areas to strain the enemy's medical resources.
That's terrible. Like snipers purposefully avoiding vital areas in order to strain the enemy's medical resources? That's a mouthful.
That's nothing compared to what they want to turn an asset. Feel ill for the rest of your life with an undiagnosable malady. Or become our mole and we'll send you in the antidote every 2 weeks.
That's a nasty piece of work.
It's a nasty line of work. Insulting.
Oh, you're in your big rich towers, not having to do any work, and oh, you have it so hard. I'm sorry.
Be
You-
ill for life.
Are
What's
you
the easiest way to
mocking
kill myself?
me?
No.
Okay, well at least you're honest. That's that's just what they call it. Can't exactly put corporate spy on your CV.
So every consultant I've met at a cocktail party was actually...
Well, it depends. Did they say that they were consultants, or did they say they were in consulting?
How the hell am I supposed to remember? So you think so your people think what happened to David was a deliberate attack?
Noble's competitors have been trying to get to David for years. And that's the timescale their plans operate on. If this was an attack from a rival corporation, the company would have seen it coming. And they've probably have struck first.
I've been curious about this ever since I saw the scene. Why the plastic cups?
Well, there's a story there. David and I got hired around the same time, under similar circumstances. Head-butted while finishing our higher education.
Headbutted.
Headhunted.
Huh?
Headhunted.
Boom.
Sorry.
Just
Sorry,
grab
I'm dyslexic.
Whoa.
During recruiting, the company claimed to want us badly, but in practice, our actual authority was...
Inexperienced and overpaid. You must have been extremely unpopular.
You don't mince words.
No, I don't.
We didn't either back then. We were loudly trying to convince our superiors that their entire sales model for androids was antiquated and self-deprecating.
Depreciating. Self-depreciating.
Self-depreciating.
The two of them made the 1 point doctrine. That's not the story I've heard in Noble commercials and Noble sponsored media. Come to think of it, it's not a story I've ever heard from David himself.
We had this deadline, self-imposed, but still a deadline. We wanted to get our pitch to the president of international sales by the end of the day. 7 p.m. rolls around and people start filtering out. David still has his head buried in diagrams and sales figures. Imagine a technical man like him, a programmer, trying to make a sales pitch. The clock hits 9 o'clock and even the zombies start heading home. I turn to David, tell him that it's not gonna happen. We're nowhere near finished and the day's long since been over. He looked at me like I'm the only other person on a sinking boat and I've just stopped pitching water, and he says,
This is Logan.
The president was on the other side of the globe. We still got all night until his end of day.
We wrapped up at 4 in the morning. Just us and then cleaning staff. Back then, only half of them were ads. He finally sends the message and I'm ready to collapse. I've got nothing. We've stared blankly at his inbox for the next 40 minutes, hoping that the harsh light would give us the energy to work through the next day. And we got a response. It wasn't long, but it showed he was interested. I had been turned down so many times before then. Ignored and placated. Placated? I don't know. Placated. Passed up and ghosted and... But together, David and I, we had finally gotten a win.
Definitely
So
played
David
it.
asks if I've got anything to drink.
See, I know what you're talking about, but I always pronounce it placated. Like,
I
Placated.
just looked up placate on the
placated.
internet. It's placated.
Okay. I always call it placated, but I know what it means.
I've got a bottle of some swill.
My
in the
brain just
cabinet
doesn't
at
work
my
right now.
desk, but he doesn't want to drink from the bottle. Says he wants to toast. So we sat there at 5:19 in the morning, toasting awful vodka to one another in cups we grabbed from the break room, toasting our first victory against the corporate beast. Between the lack of sleep and the drinking, the next day at work was hell.
Sounds like a good memory.
It wasn't.
No, fuck no, I was miserable. Plastic cups and liquor.
I was hungover. I
That
don't
was our
remember
little
much.
ritual. So I didn't think twice when he presented me with my cup. It was ceremony for us.
As VP of Android Futures, you're David's superior, aren't you?
I've currently got a red Solo cup right now, and it is full of liquid, and not liquor, Sunny D, but
Sunny D,
That's
but the
correct.
vodka
Sunny D's nuts?
kind. That they sell in
no,
stores.
the vodka Sunny D is so fucking bad.
I know.
It is. It's
I know.
really
Oh my
bad.
God, it's so bad. It's terrible.
It's very
That's
I thought it was
correct.
gonna be good, and I was excited for it, and then I
No,
was like,
me too, because
"Ew,
Sunny D is so good.
real."
It's just terrible.
And it's not like orange juice and alcohol don't mix. Like, what the fuck?
That's what mimosas are.
Yeah.
That's what mimosas are.
By the way, just to mention, I have never had alcohol, so this is all just like...
I have.
So you just fucking lied.
Yes.
You're just lying.
Yes.
Nami.
I've also
about to
never
say,
had
I was about
alcohol,
to
and
say-
don't plan it.
I was about to say, I just don't think you drunk before. Welcome on in, Cohen.
Well, thank you for the welcoming committee.
Didn't you join the company at around the same time?
Did I tell you what you guys wear tomorrow?
All right, good talk, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm talking about something important with my roommate for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I know.
We're jamming.
We're jamming. Gaming.
When's this gonna be over so I could watch today's Jello stream?
If we want, we can end soon. Let's just get to.
No, it's fine. It's a joke. I just finished. I just caught up with Jello's Danganronpa streams, and the latest one was today.
Yikes.
So I'm gonna watch that.
Danganronpa.
I'm watching his suffering. It's great.
Yeah.
Danganronpa. Ew.
Yes, exactly.
Ew. Danganronpa.
We'll play more of that eventually. We have to get through literally.
No, he
the
won't.
worst
He's
part-
lying
the
to
worst
you.
Part of the series.
He's lying
It's
to
just-
you.
We could never find time to. Yeah. When we finish this chapter of the devil, I might try to get us to play that game again. And by play that game again, I mean
You'll play, we watch.
get very upset. Because I know exactly what's gonna happen next stream.
Same.
and it's gonna be very upset.
Lying to you.
At least we don't have to deal with Makoto.
God.
Makoto.
Alright, we're good.
Don't worry, we're
He
talking
was
about
always
Danganronpa.
more interested in his work than he was in climbing the ladder. He didn't like playing the corporate politics game.
So, was he unpopular around here?
Not unpopular, no. Not the great Dr. David Asher. Misunderstood, perhaps.
Dr. Pepper.
Not the great Dr. Pepper.
my hero, the great Dr. Pepper.
The great Dr. Pepper.
He could be blunt. Demanding, some might say. He wasn't trying to be, it's just... Not everyone could work at the same pace as he did, just for as long as he did.
Even with the whole company huffing those inhalers, they couldn't keep pace with David. Speaking of which, I don't see any at Young's desk. Maybe it's not something you leave out in the open. At her level.
Yippee!
So you would say his work-life balance was...
Oh, balance implies the two are at odds with one another. We use work-life harmony here at the company.
Fucking... Fascinating. So was he in harmony?
No, David always had plenty of suitors, but he was never willing to put the time in. But I'm sure you're more knowledgeable than I am on that subject.
No, we liked two different sides of the spectrum.
What do you mean?
I'm gay, Sarah.
I'm a killer, Sarah.
I had to help him draft a lot of apology notes over the years for misunderstandings and double bookings.
Scandalous.
The A16 only entered production this year, correct?
Correct. Pre-orders started last holiday, and we began shipping in the first quarter.
See, we don't celebrate any religion here like Christianity, so it's just called holiday. And it's also all of them
Corporate
wrapped
entities
into
have
one.
always called it holiday. I don't know why you're making a big deal out of this.
What?
Corporate entities have always called holidays holiday. I don't know why.
No,
I don't know why this is a big deal.
I don't think you realize. I don't mean holiday. I mean the holiday. We wrap them all up in one. Kids go out trick-or-treating. We have a family dinner for Thanksgiving. We open presents. All of that same day.
Same day, a
It's
singular
very,
day.
it's very efficient.
singular day.
actually.
Very efficient.
We
We
launch
gotta
off
see the kids
fireworks,
go out and
it's
gather
the start
eggs.
of the new year in the middle of July.
And we plan it on the we plan it on the first weekend of May. So workers don't even get work off.
Yeah, it's like fucking insane levels of. I understand that you were instrumental in the success of War Androids.
I played my part supervising the launch, yes.
Weren't you the ones who designed the cyanotonin, the factor that enables communication between the synthetic and organic parts?
I'm surprised you've heard of that.
Yes, we hacked it.
I did lead that project, yes, but that was years ago. At the time, serotonin was a little more than a novelty, a dead end. It wasn't until David took the reins on the A16 that we found a use for it.
Took the reins.
He was lead programmer on limb coordination, facial expression, exhaustion parameters. And he designed the synthetic nerves that made all of that possible.
David did all of that. That's a lot more than programming. Was he always so gifted in that many fields? Did he fill those roles on the A14 or A15?
No. He used to stick steadfast to his role as software architect. That was his field of expertise, and he didn't wander far. For 2 or 3 years back, he started sitting in on other departments, taking notes.
Sitting on other departments, taking notes. He was a really big man.
Soon, he was joining the discussion, proposing new ideas. And eventually, they came to follow his lead.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So he just applied himself, and soon he was leading other departments.
And that's the kind of genius that Dr. David Asher was.
Maybe they weren't paying him enough.
The company profited the most, of course, but the entire industry benefited from his vision and leadership. His loss will be felt for years.
Well, does the Midwestern thing. Thanks for taking the time
Well.
to talk to me.
Time to go!
Well,
Bye.
Yep.
It's that time, isn't it?
I'm sure this has been a difficult day for you.
A difficult day for all of us.
Not really. Pulls out gun, shoots her.
so I was like, what the fuck?
It's alright.
Her
I
aim
only
is
shot
off
her in the
just this
leg.
once.
No, she only shoots her in the leg. You bitch. And then fucking
This
leaves.
really, this really hurts.
What did you do?
This
Plot
this
twist.
is very inconvenient for me right now.
Plot twist, she's an android.
A message from Fawn.
I have so many calls I have to make, and now I'm bleeding out of my leg.
I'm running out of leads. To
No,
take.
she's sparking. Plot twist,
The
she's an
brat better
android.
have good news.
Nah.
Are you really gonna take this to court?
That's my plan. The circumstances may be irregular, but I'm still defending a client from a criminal charge. It's my responsibility to argue he's not guilty of what he's been accused of.
And is that what you believe? That he didn't commit suicide?
I guess I haven't decided. I guess I haven't decided what I believe in.
They believe in God.
Would you kindly slow the hell down?
I'm sorry, Adonai. Was I talking too quickly for you? Walking, excuse me?
That wasn't walking. That was speed walking. Up 2 flights of stairs. It's very different.
Speed walking?
She's learned a new skill.
Sounds like a powerful technique. Is it like the Zinjiao?
Yeah. Just let me catch my breath for a minute.
No, you old bitch.
I really shouldn't have taught you to swear.
Is it possible that you are out of shape?
No.
Because you're
She just
old?
called you fat.
But since we left the cab, your heart rate has.
I'm not wearing the right clothes. Or the right
You
shoes.
haven't changed your outfit in like 3 days.
No, I've changed it.
How the
It's
fuck
just
do you
stayed
know
the
that?
same outfit.
I just have
to-
multiple
so-
copies of the same outfit.
Yes, exactly.
It's the only
I-
thing that I wear.
I know what looks good on me, so I stick with it.
Like every single video game character.
Is that so?
Yes. Also, I didn't stretch or hydrate, and the sun's reaching its zenith.
That would have been several hours ago. Do you mean the air temp?
You said it would be a short walk from street level, so I prepared myself mentally for a short walk. Then you took off like a
Sounds
rocket,
like a skill issue.
and you didn't mention we'd have to go upstairs. Are you sure this place
Sounds
is even
like
back
a
here?
huge skill issue.
That sounds like a skill issue. The reviews online were quite clear. It's worth the trouble finding it.
Maybe if you're a mountain climber. Man, when I sent Fran hunting for a musician in David's circles, I expected them to bring me to someone from a city orchestra or a jazz club. The champagne flute and teacup kind of musician. But this tequila neon part of town?
It should be in view if we turn. Adonai, be careful.
Of what?
It's a stray and it's bearing its fangs too. It could be carrying diseases. You should.
Relax.
She's about to shoot the dog. She's about to fucking shoot the dog.
Adonai, it's glowing. Growling. It's glowing.
Oh no, it's radioactive!
glowing.
Run! It's about to blow! Run!
I'm hulking out.
It's gonna explode!
It's not growling at me. See?
So it's just me that it doesn't like.
Too much static.
How'd you get it to calm down? I
Gun.
killed it.
I shot it.
It's an animal, not a monster. It wants to be calm.
Do you like animals?
What kind of cold-blooded freak doesn't like animals?
Do you have a pet?
Yes,
You.
her name is Sarah.
Her name is Sarah.
Her name is Sarah.
No, never have.
Why not?
Because I don't
Too
want to
much
take
effort.
care of a pet.
That seems counterintuitive to me.
Well, it makes perfect sense to me. I don't need it to make sense to you.
But
You notice you're only this talkative when it's just the two of us?
Why is she
Just
hating?
An observation.
why is she hating?
Why is
You
she hating?
Shy or something? Did David program you to have android anxiety?
It's generally only appropriate to respond to comments that are addressed to oneself. Today, I have rarely been addressed directly by people other than you.
In other words, you're shy.
That is not what I... Can I try petting it?
Oh,
Can I pet that dog?
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 There's no law against it. Man, so I have a story. At where I work, I have one coworker who's near me. Near me in age, I mean by that someone who's not in high school. God, we're the only two who get Vine references, and it's fucking insane.
Oh,
Like
no.
we do
Love
the. Is that a weed?
I'm calling the police.
No, with the crayon. I'm calling the police.
Beep beep beep. Hello?
Is that a police? I'm calling the weed.
Yeah, it's one of those.
High schoolers don't get Vine references.
They
It's
don't.
awful.
This is the establishment.
Now, to see if Isaac Porter is as habitable as Fraud claims.
Do you think Father was close with this man? This man who you've never met?
I think he was close with him, yeah. At some point. I had some help making that deduction. Franz saw their metadata showed a significant cooling of interaction between the two of them, particularly over the past month. But Fran also saw a phone call between the two last night.
So they were close. Do you think they were sleeping together? Do you think they were fucking?
That is completely inappropriate for me or anyone to speculate about.
Inappropriate? Adonai, it's only...
I'm getting a very important text message from my private investigator. Excuse me.
I don't know. It's only sex. I know you don't
Well,
get
you
it, but
didn't say no, so
Who
they are.
wants to be Brat?
did you catch the killer yet?
No.
What the hell? I sent you his POS.
I'm at his position. I haven't spoken to Porter yet. Anyway, there's no reason to suspect him right now.
Lame.
Surprised you're invested all of a sudden. Isn't David Asher a corporate sellout in your eyes?
Everyone's a corporate sellout. But Asher gets respect. If I'm a demolitions expert. He's like a really good architect.
That's almost sweet, I think.
Asher started out working in Cube. So in the architect analogy. But today's standards, he's like, I don't know. As a kid, he built all his bricks by hand. Or something.
You know, that lit homework can help you with formatting analogies.
This analogy. Did that come through or did the characters break? It's supposed to be a guy giving you the finger.
That's fucking... I take it Cube is a programming language. What's special about this?
Pretty much anything coded in the last 20 years is web-based. You code with the assumption that you'll always be connected. So you can depend on having fat libraries of references to lean on. And if something does go wrong, your errors get reported to you automatically.
But not Cube.
You can look it up. But basically, Cube was originally for robotics and, like, machinery. Stuff that had to operate in mines. Under the ocean. Middle of nowhere fields with zero signal service, so Cube had to be self-sufficient.
How rugged.
Where'd Asher learn Cube anyway? It's older than dirt. From like the 40s.
I don't know.
I hate that.
I think
That
his
was like
father
40
has a
years
machine
ago.
shop or something.
Egg.
Yeah, well, David didn't like talking about his family, and I never asked.
What did your private investigator have to say, Adonai?
Not
And he didn't
telling
want to
you.
talk about sex.
You never said no.
Don't stop talking.
Stage for the
Bad.
talent.
Bad,
Pretty close to
Sarah.
the floor.
Sprays her with the water.
Jesse
Fraser.
fits with the whole round table aspect of this place. Everyone's more or less equal footing, dancing in the dark once you get past the bouncer.
Do you think they might have met here?
David and Porter? I can't see David walking in here.
Because you found the walk so challenging.
Because it's too loud to relax, and not dark enough to be anonymous.
I see.
What's that face? You got an opinion to share?
The atmosphere's not bad in here, but the music isn't quite...
I'll find you a survey to fill out before we leave. What kind of music does an android even like? Daft Punk.
Early 21st century punk rock.
Hell yeah!
Is that just you, or does that go for all androids?
I haven't met all androids. I can't speak for them.
Wonder what they'd say.
She listens to My Chemical Romance.
Real.
If they're smart, they'd say the music peaked with early 21st century punk rock.
He listens to Green Day.
Debate settled.
My kind of child.
A bar stocked full of colorful selections and busy bartenders. Hope
Dude,
this
I
is
love
the
All
kind of
American
club you
Rejects.
can order food in.
Real.
Only time bar food is.
I
any
love
good is
21
when you're
Pilots.
Drunk enough to forget the taste in the gap between chewing and swallowing. So you can like eat things.
Yes, I can.
What's like android food?
There is no such product.
So what do androids eat?
Online user guides for Noble's war models clarify that they don't eat anything in the traditional sense. They get their energy from electrical charging, usually wireless. So like a Tesla charger.
I'm like a Tesla.
I explode randomly.
What the fuck is it? What the fuck is a Tesla?
What's a Tesla?
Whenever they need to eat, it's to replenish specific vitamins and electrolytes.
Sounds
Are you talking
a
about
lot
that
of what
crazy
bodies
guy?
Go through with their sports
What was
drinking
his name?
energy. That like Nazi man.
Milan?
That Felon Husk?
Milan Elosk?
Elosk.
And a charger separation anxiety.
According to the net, warm androids can ingest nutrient-rich processed carbohydrate pellets if they need to forego electrical charging long term. So yes, a Tesla charger.
Processed pellets. You mean like kibble? Like dog food?
I still have
No,
no clue
it
what
is-
a Tesla is.
It is not like dog food at all.
Can you buy it from the pet store?
It seems that you can.
How is it something you have to look up? Anyway,
Because I've always eaten whatever father gave me.
like what?
Marbled beef. Never hydroponic avocados. Foie gas. That sort of thing.
I am not paying for any of that.
Marbled beef is insane.
Marbled beef. Only the best for this child.
Yeah, honestly, so true.
Never
Literally, only the best.
Never
Okay.
hydroponic is a movement calling for sourcing food exclusively from farms utilizing natural sunlight. Lobbyists for the movement have made unsubstantial claims about superior taste of nutritional value for labels such as yet to receive official state.
So essentially, these are just farms, But-
Yes.
not
Yes.
like because they don't like have any natural sunlight here. The natural sunlight
Yeah,
part.
so
is
they
like,
have to
"Wow."
build
Artificial
above the
farms.
clouds, Riley.
Yeah, the dense fog and yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool.
What kind of reading material gets left out in the club? A tabloid interview?
I am not reading all that.
The most beautiful woman in the world.
It's basically
By
someone
the way,
who...
Raleigh's Crack House got an update.
Oh my
No
god.
way, Roldy's Crack House got an update.
Raleigh's Crack
Crack
House got an
House.
Some
update.
rises are too
We need to
meteoric
play the
for
game.
even the Megs to grab the reins of. At this point, luxury's got them at her mercy. She can send their stocks into disarray with one selfie. Good for her. Oh yeah, that's him alright. Looks like
The
he's
pink
killing
hair.
time before he sets down tonight.
Is that his love interest?
Yes. it
Is that his lover?
Yes.
That's his lover.
Actually, it is.
Yes.
I figured as much. I actually figured it was gonna be the musician.
Yeah, he's gay.
Yeah, he
Just
is
Yeah,
like
gay.
look at that hair.
Yeah, do you guys
Look
not
at that
remember
hair.
when I said we swing for different teams? He likes
Yeah,
guys, I like
yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
It means we're gay, Sarah.
Means we're gay, Sarah.
Are you unsure how to proceed, Adonai?
I'm sure that you need to hang back. As for me, all
Don't play it straight.
Unlike
Oh.
you.
This is not the person to play it straight with. This guy's
Isaac
gay as
Porter.
fuck.
who wants to take him? Logan? Riley just
No.
Logan?
I can.
Riley, you got it.
I can do it again. Do we? Is he like?
What's
I know
up?
he's gay.
Look
he
at
doesn't- he
him
doesn't
and
give-
tell me what his type would be.
I'm looking at him, and you might call me crazy, but he doesn't give me like flamboyant gay.
Oh no,
voice.
he ain't flamboyant gay.
No.
No.
Like,
He's the other kind of gay.
what's the other kind of gay?
He's the masculine gay.
The masculine gay. Okay.
Let me David.
When I was
flamboyant gay.
when I had
Just kidding.
originally I had been thinking of a voice for the musician this whole time. I'm gonna be so honest because I wanted to try and I've been like imagining like almost a hippie voice, but now that I see this guy, I'm like that's not gonna.
Hey,
That's
yo,
not
what's up?
gonna.
It's also musician, so it has to be Riley.
That is
You're
true.
right,
Hey, yo,
that
what's
is
up?
Board Bros law.
That is Lil Bro's law. It's a musician. It has to be me. What's up?
My name's Morgan. I was David's friends. Right now I'm his lawyer. Can we talk?
Depends. Were you a friend from work?
No.
Over here.
Oh, he just disappeared.
Thanks, Isaac.
Hmm.
Bassist.
He's a bassist.
The worst
Like-
at
That's
holding.
that give
It's-
I don't do requests.
He dislikes ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see, he's all natural. Don't thank me yet. I might just sit here, shut my mouth, and stick you with my tab. So what kind of lawyer are you? What kind of friend?
I'm his defense attorney.
Think you missed the best bus on that then, yeah?
And I'm a friend that needs to know what happened yesterday.
Doesn't everyone? Try something else, friendly lawyer. I haven't seen him in weeks.
You might not have seen him, but we both know you spoke with him over the phone yesterday. Only a short time before he died.
How the hell?
Isaac, it's pretty obvious that you don't want this particular spotlight to linger on you any longer than necessary. So why don't we cut to the chase? No lies, no playing coy.
Fine.
Sarah,
Yes, Adonai?
The hell? Is that thing transmitting?
I am not streaming any data, no.
Porter doesn't seem to recognize Sarah either. One more person David was keeping secrets from. I need to record everything for the court.
Fine.
You two were together, is that correct?
We were together and I ended it.
Oh, damn.
Yesterday.
Oh.
Care to elaborate?
On our entire relationship.
Looks like you can tell me everything once, and I can get it on record. Or you can hear the same question over and over again from thousands of different cops and Megs for the next 3 months.
We met at a bar. I had seen him come in a few times, each time with someone else. Each time talking with his mouth but not looking with his eyes. It ticked me off. Scribbling on napkins and letting his single gin and tonic sweats onto the table for 2 hours. His dates would all go to the bathroom or take a call and slip out the back. One of them didn't make it 10 minutes. And he'd still sit there the rest of the night, unfazed. Couldn't tell if he was oblivious or stupid or shameless or the most confident man in the world. And he ticked me off. One night, things were slow and my set had been cancelled and his date hadn't even bothered to think of an excuse before bailing, so I asked him why he'd insisted on coming there night after night. Just to ignore vapid people he wasn't interested in at a shitty bar with drinks he didn't like. And he just said, "Because I like your music." Man, did that tick me off. It was cute, early on. Him being so passionate about work, I could barely pretend to understand. And I liked that we gave each other space, you know? Felt like we were being mature or whatever.
Until...
There was no until. No one day where everything turned sour. But at some point, I started to understand where his priorities were, and how I ranked in them. Like I said, he was passionate about his work. I just wrongly assumed that he would also be that passionate about me at some point. So I pulled away a little, wanted to see if he'd notice, if he'd miss me. Testing him, like that isn't the biggest red flag in the world. He never budged. I could ignore him for days and he wouldn't be the least bit ashamed to see me. If I picked a fight, he'd never get angry or upset. He'd just apologize. He didn't want to fight with me. Guess he was never invested enough to bother. It was my mistake. I watched him sit there all those nights, not giving a shit when people walked away, and I had this stupid idea that somehow, for whatever reason, I would be different. That I would be special. But I wasn't. So I ended it.
Last night,
I called him. Didn't expect he'd pick up. I had everything prepared to leave a message with an assistant or ad or whatever. But he answered. First ring. Without hesitation, shame, or awkwardness. And that ticked me off. So I told him exactly how valued he made me feel the past few months. I told him exactly how insignificant I felt as the boyfriend of the illustrious Dr. David Asher.
And what did he say?
He apologized. Then he asked me if that was all I could tell of all I called to tell him.
Woof.
I hung up after that. Spent the rest of the night wrapped in warm disdain for him and his oldness. He made that easy for me. I went to sleep hurt, but clean, ready for something new. And then this morning I wake up to see that my ex killed himself not 2 hours after he let me walk out of his life without so much as a don't. What the hell, man? Hell, David. And now you're just the tip of an iceberg of lawyers and reporters and buzzards. Parasites who want to hear about the man who sent David Asher over the edge. I never wanted to be his last lifeline or the straw that broke his back. I just wanted to be his goddamn boyfriend. Turns out that was asking for too much.
It's yet to be determined whether David committed suicide.
You serious?
You don't have all the facts.
And you do? Any one of them point to anything else? Thought so.
Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to it.
That's it? No summons?
The court has no need for you to retell a sad story like that.
The court, huh?
Sorry to bother you at work. Sarah, let's go.
Your discography is very impressive,
Yeah, thanks.
and your range is remarkable. Though it pained me to see that all your works in the last quarter have been so melancholy. I think
Well, what the hell would you know about any of that? What's the matter? Can't find the words? You just steal them from somewhere first, butcher them before shitting them back out?
I was not trained on any data sets that...
Nah, pardon me, my mistake, really. Not your fault you're only standing here because rich prick nerds were allowed to rob the world blind for most of the century.
Sarah, we're leaving. What the hell was that about?
He was under the false impression that I was programmed using a massive automated learning model in early 21st century.
Not that. Why did you talk to him?
I wanted to... I just felt that I should say something to him.
A word of advice? People don't want comfort from strangers, especially when they're androids. They want it from people they want it from. Coming from anywhere else is just corn syrup on a parched tongue. Doesn't matter how sweet it is, they'll just start gagging.
You know a lot about people, don't you, Adonai?
Yeah, and a lot about killing them.
I know the best way to kill a person. I know at least 30 different ways to kill a man. Compared to you, I'm a goddamn savant. Come on, there's not much time left.
Is there still somewhere you want to investigate?
Somewhere I need to return to, actually. Potter was right. As things stand, I don't have any evidence that could establish an alternative interpretation of the facts. But if there did exist hard evidence that could prove his death wasn't a suicide, there's only one place I could find it at this point. So we're gonna be ending it there because I am tired.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
So everybody say goodbye to stream. We'll continue this probably on Friday
Bye-bye.
if everything goes to plan.